10 more locations. Interstate Battery, outrageously dependable.
Welcome to the William Mattar Thursday Night Lights, live on MyTV Buffalo, presented by the Final Outlet.
Live from Max D. Lederer Stadium in Lockport, New York, it's William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Vinyl Outlet in Western New York. Welcome to the 2023 high school football season, friends. It's the Bennett Tigers out of Class AA against Class A's Lockport Lions. Great to have you with us here on WNYO, MyTV Buffalo. Scott Pilkey, Jack Cruiser with you all afternoon, bringing you week one of high school football in Western New York. And boy, do we have a great matchup for you here today.
Yeah, you know, we're looking at two teams. Both coaches are very positive about what they have coming into camp this year. Obviously, Coach McDuffie and Bennett is coming off a great season, and Lockport has high hopes.
So let's dive into some of our players to watch for today's game. First up, for the reigning Class AA state champions, it's the starting outside linebacker and wide receiver, Jameer Thomas.
He is about as good of a Division I looking product. He's got great hips, great mobility, and on top of it, he's got speed and vision.
On the flip side, for the Lions of the home team of Lockport, it's their senior captain, Shea Williams.
He's got size, he's got length, and this is somebody they're going to go to early and often.
Bennett and Lockport squaring off for the first time in a long time. Let's take a look at some of the keys to the game for each squad. Bennett, a lot bigger of a school, a lot of combined schools together. They're used to winning, as they did a lot of last year. Their keys.
Yeah, you know, for Bennett, it's about not getting greedy, making the big plays early, and taking Schultz. You know, make Schultz move around their Lockport's quarterback, and on the other side of it is hold the line up front, contain the speed of Bennett, pack the box, and make sure that you keep everything in front of you.
We've got a great matchup on hand. Bennett and Lockport coming up with kickoff on the other side of this break. It's William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Vinyl Outlet right here on MyTV Buffalo.
UB Bulls football is back. Coach Mo has the 2023 squad ready to compete for another MAC championship. Tickets for all 6 games are on sale now. For theme game information or to buy tickets, call 1-877-UB-THERE or visit ubbulls.com.
At Express Windows, you can get high-quality vinyl double-hung windows starting at only $329. And for a limited time, buy 3, get 1 free on energy-efficient triple-pane windows. Express Windows. Fast, easy, affordable.
My teeth were starting to change.
Dominic didn't want metal braces, so he got crystal clear aligners from the Aesthetic Associates Center.
But overall, they're pain-free, essentially invisible, and very easy to maintain. And I can definitely see that my teeth are straightening. I actually tend to want to smile a little bit more because I know my teeth have been corrected.
Get your smile back with crystal clear aligners from the Aesthetic Associates Center.
I'm very happy that I've had them, and I would do it again.
At Express Windows, you can get high-quality vinyl double-hung windows starting at only $329. And for a limited time, buy 3, get 1 free on energy-efficient triple-pane windows. Express Windows. Fast, easy, affordable.
UB football home opener against Fordham is September 9th at 6 p.m. Presented by Fat Man's Pizza. For a limited time, buy 4 tickets and a parking pass for only $59. This package will sell out, so get your tickets today at ubulls.com/tickets.
MyTV Buffalo, your station to catch live Buffalo Bisons games from Salem Field. The Bisons take on the Indians, live Sunday on MyTV Buffalo.
Live, get ready to rock. Playing in your town, it's the biggest show ever.
One place with lightning, another place with boom. Play something we can dance to.
The Big Bang Theory.
Weeknights on MyTV Buffalo.
Football season begins this weekend. There's been a lot of action so far in Section 6 and across Western New York, but finally, The home team here at Lockport High School at Max D. Lederer Stadium is finally taking the field. You just saw them make their way out from the locker room. My name's Jack Cruiser. Scott Pilkey, head recruiting coordinator at Erie Community College in Western New York. Boy, you know good talent when you see them, and we've got a lot of that tonight.
There's plenty of it. You know, Section 6 is one of the more under-recruited areas in the country, but places like Bennett, when you're seeing that they're sending kids to Syracuse, multiple colleges around town, you really got to love what we're producing here in Western New York right now, and these two teams are going to give you a good game tonight.
It's a great crowd on hand already here for a 1 p.m. kickoff this Saturday afternoon on Thursday Night Lights, presented by William Mattar and Vinyl Outlets. Bennett, on the flip side, they already were introduced. They're coming off an impressive season last year. That is Coach Stevenson McDuffie, head coach of the Bennett Tigers, first African-American head coach in New York State history to win a state championship. That's what he did with his Tigers last season. They had a stacked roster a season ago. You just mentioned a couple of those players. Rashard Perry is now on the left side of your screen there. He's still wearing blue and orange in that stadium for the Syracuse Orange, a D1 product, and actually he's in the rotation for week 1, so that just shows you the amount of talent that was here, and it starts from the ground up, doesn't it?
It really does, you know, and the funny part is that you've got a tremendous amount of people. We're going to be having the national anthem here right now, but the beautiful thing is that these young players are not only coming out as great football players, but they're student athletes as well. The students and the GPAs, as we're going to talk about here later, you know, that's just the amazing aspect of what we're producing here in Western New York at this time, is more complete student athletes. Coach McDuffie's done a great job. Coach Trait is doing a great job. That's where we're really focused right now, is on the student athlete experience in Western New York.
Let's get to know some of those student athletes that we'll see on the field in just a moment. The starting lineup for the Lockport Lions, led by their sophomore quarterback, Graham Schultz, who has a C on his chest for game 1 of his sophomore year. How big is that for a 10th grader to be a leader on the team?
Well, I think it's more of a statement to the type of kid that he is, the type of leader that he is. If somebody like your head coach, we talk about Coach Trait, who is obviously a really fine guy, and, you know, he's putting his hope into this young man. So
on the flip side, Bennett's defensive lineup there, we've got a lot of names to look out for, namely at linebacker Kamari Cook, a transfer Ryan Lawrence, who spent last year in the Monsignor Martin Association with St. Mary's. We'll learn a lot about him later on. And Coach's son, Noah McDuffie, back at free safety. And that leaves a lot of names up top of your screen at the defensive line position. You'll get to introduce them later on, but boy, it is a loaded Bennett defense.
It really is. You know, a lot of size up there, and let's just see, you know, how they play it out here today, because this is going to be an exciting challenge. It's going to be an exciting challenge today.
When the Tigers take the field offensively, it'll be Sherrod Bernard, who is a transfer from St. Mary's in the Monsignor Martin Association. This his junior season. Played last year, 4 touchdowns, 8 interceptions for the Lancers, who went 2-7. He transfers in to Bennett High School and works for this team that runs their program like a college under head coach Steve McDuffie, who enters his 13th season. On the flip side, Lockport's defense, a lot of the same names. You see a lot of that in Western New York, especially once you get down to Class A and lower.
Yeah, you know, the idea of the 60-minute man playing both ways, it's going to be tough for Lockport to stay fresh, but if they can get ahead, you're going to see these guys, they're trained to play both sides of the ball.
In the middle of that graphic, the middle linebacker, Tristan Grimble, wearing number 5. He led the team in total tackles a season ago at middle linebacker. Going to be a key for Lockport today. Your captains for the Bennett Tigers, left to right. You've got Donald Porter, Noah McDuffie. Plenty lining up all across as we turn you down to the field for the coin toss.
Brockman, Mr. Murphy. On Lockport sidelines, Mr. Dorfine. Bennett sidelines, Mr. Ray, and our back judge is Mr. Chattel. You guys are the captains of your team for a reason. Coaches look to you guys to be leadership on and off the field. We want to see it on the field today, all right? Anytime during the game you think you might have a fellow teammate getting out of control, help us out. Last thing we want to do is start throwing flags for somebody getting a little nutted up, all right? Orange is going to talk to orange. White's going to talk to white. Good sportsmanship on the field. Bennett's the visiting team. They'll call the toss. That's going to be a tail and a head. Head, tail. What's your call, Noah? Tails. Tails is called, guys. It is a heads. Lockport won the toss. What would you like to do? You got it. Lockport won the toss, elected to defer. No, you guys are taking the ball. What goal you want to defend? No, it's receiving it. You get it second half.
Well, that was the head referee of tonight's game in Corey Brockman. He'll be running things. You hear a lot of that sportsmanship talk early on. How key is that in week one of the season to set the precedent not only for the players but the coaches and the fans, everyone here?
Well, setting the tone is something that we've got to have consistency with, and I love hearing the referees instilling that in the young men right at the middle of the field. And you're going to see a very physical matchup today, so that's the reason why we got to emphasize that, because football, these are big people. Collision, it's the game of collision, so you got to be able to do it in a gentlemanly way, so everybody has a great time and just compete to the best of your ability.
It's a non-conference match as well. No one wants to get hurt. Lockport spent a hefty 90 minutes warming up on this field before the Tigers even got here.
Yeah.
Bennett just showed up about 25 minutes prior to kickoff, so we'll see if that plays an effect as well. Not as much time to stretch and warm up, but well, Bennett's able to do it the way they did last year, which was go all the way to Syracuse and win a state championship. No one will be talking about what they did before the game.
Exactly. Taking a look at these coaches, everybody's ready to go. We've got a 5-by-5 on the kickoff here. You've got you're looking right now 2 deep at Bennett. Some of their, you're going to see speed coming right out of the gate here, and getting ready to kick this off. What an exciting time.
So we begin the 2023 high school football season on Thursday Night Lights with the Just Pizza Kickoff, Buffalo's premier pizza and wings. It's the junior kicker, Jaden Bishaw, who lines up and gives it a boot. A good one. All the way back, it's our player to watch, Jameer Thomas, who fields it at the 5. Makes one man miss and another. Look out,
He's
Jameer
gone.
Thomas!
He's gone.
My, Bennett! Jameer Thomas! The first play of the season to the house. Touchdown, Tigers.
Fantastic set up by the front 5. Lockport never even got to the second level. They had one guy get downfield. Everybody else was locked up at around the 45-yard line. Just fantastic blocking up front, and then to let the athlete do what he does best, runs like the wind.
What a way to start the season. We get a look at the replay presented by the Vinyl Outlet.
Just great blocking up front, and like we talked about earlier, vision, vision, vision. And that's what this young man has. And as soon as you see it, he flips the hips and can change direction.
Hold on just a minute. A holding call way back inside Bennett territory negates the touchdown.
Well, that's just I didn't see that come out of there, but you know what? I was too busy watching what an amazing athlete that young man was.
So while the 6 points come off the board and Bennett marches all the way back to their own 25-yard line, there's just a little taste of what we could see all afternoon. 1st and 10 here at their own 25.
We've got 2 tight ends in. This is a 2 tight end set, single back, calling timeout right here on the very first play.
Bennett.
What are the odds of this, Scott, where you've got a kickoff return for the touchdown, and then immediately Coach McDuffie wants to talk about it?
Well, when you think about, I've been in a lot of game situations where it starts out that fast, right? And it's a very exciting play, and everybody just kind of explodes with that kickoff return. But right when you come back, it has a tendency sometimes to take the wind out of your sails when something like that happens, especially to have it called back after that.
There is Steve McDuffie, who calls the first timeout of the game. In the first half, not a horrible thing to burn a timeout early. 14 years with L.J. Bennett High, has 110 wins on his career. Let's take a look at where that penalty occurred on the Vinyl Outlet replay. See on the left side, just a push from behind.
Hand on the back is all it takes right now, and you teach that every single day. If the man's back is turned to you, don't put your hand on him. That's basic 101 stuff, and it cost him 6 points.
Our first look at Sherrod Bernard III, the 6-foot junior at quarterback for Bennett. Originally was under center on the previous formation, this time in the gun. He hands it off to Jameer Thomas. Let's see if he can go another 80 yards. Instead, he's wrapped up and taken down from behind. Credit the tackle to Jaquan Davis.
Jaquan just came out, perfect pursuit from the backside, did exactly what he's supposed to do, played an inside out on the running back, came back and continued, and just great pursuit there. Nice job.
A gain of just 1.
See, he didn't stop. His motor kept going, and great job. They're lucky that he didn't lose the football on that.
He was bobbling it as he went down. 2nd down, 9 to go.
2 by 2 now on the 2nd down.
It's a handoff to McDuffie. Noah McDuffie bounces to the left side, gets hit at the legs. Great tackling we're seeing already. Shea Williams comes up to get the stop.
So far we've seen a double tight 2 by 2, and now you're seeing a double slot 2 by 2. And with the double slot, you're going to see a lot of this back motion, put in motion, little misdirection there at the point of attack. Nice job.
And even still on that, Sterling Pierce, number 6, came in just to clean things up and try to punch that ball free. Scott, when you've got a team this early in the game punching at the football in the first 2 plays from the line of scrimmage, what does that do to the mentality of Bennett?
Well, it just tells you that they're very well coached, that right now Coach Trait understands that if you're going to make something happen, you've got to create the turnovers and you got to make them make mistakes. And they're playing tough right now up front, and you can see they're packing the box right now.
It's a 3rd down give that doesn't get anywhere impressive. Ryan Lawrence, the transfer from St. Francis last year, had just 2 rushing attempts in his sophomore campaign with the Red Raiders out of the Monsignor Martin Association for 7 yards. He doesn't get anything there except 1 yard for 4th and short.
That was a big man, number 67, Trevor Wallace up front, 6'3", 350 pounds. He held hard there, right there. Bring up this 4th down. Yep, nice job.
Bennett looks like they're going to go for it with Sherrod Bernard under center. He hands it off. Good blocking up front. The back McDuffie is taken down just past the line to gain. It is a conversion on 4th down to move the sticks.
Nice run up here. Just that's the kind of power you have to have on 4th and 1. Straight ahead, downhill football. Nice work.
Aiden Janda, number 71 on the left side of your screen there, giving it to Ruben Ochoa, the center for Bennett. Little extracurricular activity, boys being boys out there.
Just asking him, how was your bus ride up?
Well, it was a long one.
Hey, it was a nice day.
From Bennett all the way up to Lockport. It's a 1st down, brought to you by Interstate Batteries. 1st down, outrageously dependable Interstate Batteries. 1st and 10, of play action pass down the right side. He's got his man. Bernard leaves it just too far in front of the intended target as he was looking for Donald Porter.
And it's interesting. You see what they're doing right now. They're mixing it up. Great with different formations. They've been in 2 by 2 with tight ends, 2 by 2 with slots. That was the first time they came out of power I formation, play action, and we're going to see more of that down the field when you're going to get this man on man.
A penalty against Bennett at the line of scrimmage will back them up 10 yards. So now what was a touchdown
on the offense, still 1st down.
that started this drive on the first kickoff of the game. We thought it was 6-0 right away. Instead, it's taken Bennett a lot to move the sticks even past the 50.
Well, because right now you have such great talent and everything's working in a good way, but it's just 1 or 2 little things can defeat that entire intention of, they've shown right there a little bit more off that football. That's a 60-yard touchdown pass. They're playing well. But to Lockport's credit, they're playing tough on the inside right now. They're packing the box to take away that run. You're going to see more of that play-action pass.
1st and 20 from the 28. High snap handled. Bernard gives it off, and Lockport's defense snuffs it out.
Again, I really like what they're doing. They've typically been a 4-3 defense. They walk down into a 4-4 right now, and they're keeping everything in front of them. Exactly what we said about the keys of the game. So far, you're seeing Lockport hold strong.
Liam Whalen led the team in tackles for loss a season ago. A returning key defensive end stands at 5'9" for his senior season. He had double digits tackles for loss last year.
He's got a great motor. Look at him. He's in great shape. He's probably a multi-sport athlete. And right now, they're just playing tough. Bennett is playing against themselves. They little mistakes are taking away what was started out as great momentum.
2nd and 22 after the 2-yard loss on 1st. 2 running backs to each side of Bernard. Snap over his head. Ball still loose on the ground and scooped up by Lockport. It's a touchdown. Patrick Luke Johnny on the spot. The Lions take the lead.
You know, we talked to Coach Trait, and Coach Trait said this is his exact game plan, was to stay and keep everything in front of us, load the box, and hope that they cause some mistakes. And look what just happened. This is an amazing turnaround in momentum here.
Let's get another look at our first Tim Hortons touchdown on the season.
Snap over top, good pressure up front, and then just, again, Lockport's doing a great job by getting people around the football. Everybody is pursuing great energy here in Lockport, New York.
This is exactly what the Lions needed to start this football game. An early stop and score on one position. The extra point kick up and no good. Missed it wide. So a 6-0 score is where we stand. We'll take a quick break on My TV Buffalo. A lot more interesting it just got, folks. Stick with us. 6-0 Lockport after the defensive score from the sophomore Patrick Luke. More after this.
If you want to lower your car insurance rate, take the Will It Be Challenge. Call Craig here and see if you can lower your monthly payments.
Thank you to all who have called. The calls, they just keep coming in.
It's so busy right now, they fired some new employees. That's Shorty and Macy. Willoughby loves dogs, and Willoughby loves saving you money. With inflation, this is smart people. Challenge Craig to reduce your payment in one phone call.
I bet I can.
Willoughby will
when nobody will.
Willoughby will when nobody will.
Today's closed captioning is exclusively brought to you by Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield. Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, live fearless. That's what the Lockport D-line did on that last play, forcing the fumble, well, at least via intimidation mentally, perhaps, that got in the head of the center, Ruben Ochoa, who snapped it over the head of Bernard, and then the sophomore getting his first touchdown in his varsity career on his first drive.
Well, you really can't say enough about a 6'3", 350-pound nose guard. This is a guy that right now is at the center of the Lockport defense. And as big as Bennett is up front, that's a battle they haven't won yet. They're double teaming a 350-pound junior. The guy's staying in. Now, that was a very long drive. So these guys are going to have to play both sides of the ball. And now we got to see if they can keep up the same momentum coming back.
Jameer Thomas returning his second Just Pizza kickoff across the 30, down at the 35. A lot shorter of a return this time than his first that was called back on what was a touchdown, called back for a penalty. But the Lockport defense heads right back out there. You mentioned you kind of get tired moving backwards all that often.
Well, you know, with the big guys up front on both sides of the ball is the key to this. Because what it's allowing the speed and the smaller players on Lockport, they're able to pursue. You're seeing this. They're coming in. They're punching at the football. They're coming in from all angles, and they're really keeping great pressure on Bennett right now. You look at the way Bennett breaks out of the huddle. That's not a great sign for Bennett right now. They're lumberous right now. That was a long drive for them as well to get nothing out of it.
First down handoff. This is Noah McDuffie. Jukes his way past the 30. He barely gets back, if he even did, to the line of scrimmage.
Great job by the right side defensive end by extending it out, forcing the running back to the outside, and he kept his containment on the outside, allowed for the backside pursuit to come in and continue to do what they're doing. You got the outside, the inside, and the plug over top. That's why that was a successful play for Lockport.
That was the returning strong safety, senior Trey Thompson. Top 5 on the team in tackles last year. He gets a tackle for loss there. Second down and 11 after losing one on first down for Bennett. They're going backwards more than they are forwards. Unexpected in a non-conference matchup against a smaller school in Lockport after winning the AA state title a season ago.
Well, you know, you look at this, and if you really look at what kept Bennett at bay during the playoffs last year was 8 and 9 in the box. And you're really seeing Lockport do that right now. This is where I would suggest you go back into the play action pass.
Take a look at Tristan Grimble exploding through the line and makes a solid tackle heads up. And he gets some help from his buddy Patrick Luke, who made the fumble recovery touchdown on the first drive to clean things up, as well as Chase Deviak, the senior deep tackle. A lot of bodies converging on the football. Definitely a good sign for the defensive coordinator and head coach Trey Smith in his third year with the Lockport Lions, looking to take a jump this season.
Well, you got Devin Darrell in there, number 55, and Trevor Wallace that are doing great, taking away the A-gap, and they're pushing the pocket.
3rd and 12, throw to the right sideline. It is caught, and the first down picked up. Jameer Thomas picks up the Interstate Battery's first down and moves the sticks on 3rd.
You know, that's a great job here. You got to start seeing Coach McDuffie and Coach Scott, who's his offensive coordinator. And when you see the box packed with 8 or 9 people in it, you've got to start throwing the football. Get the ball out quick, play action, roll your quarterback out. Nice job there. They're not going to be able to defend those types of throws because they're sitting back in a deep cover 3. That way, that ball is going to be there all day long.
Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable, bringing you that first down. That's what Jameer Thomas has been all day for Bennett. We'll see if they go right back to him. Bernard looks left. This time comes to Ryan Lawrence, jukes and gets wrapped up just past the 40-yard line.
Now, this is a great job, good adjustment by Bennett, because they're going to allow their athletes now to take the under routes, take what they give you, and start spreading this defense out in Lockport.
Tristan Grimble in on the tackle at number 5. He's the one that squared him up. But great help there from the sideline. Guarding the sideline was Sterling Pierce, number 6. And then Lucas Stiglmeyer, 74, came in to defend the inside of the field. If you've got 3 hats to the football every play, you're looking to be in business for Lockport as they break for 2nd down and 3 do the Bennett Tigers.
What's most impressive was number 55, Devin Darrell, at 305 pounds, rushed downfield and was part of that tackle. Great pursuit.
Timeout on the field called by Bennett. 4:38 to go in this first quarter. A 6-0 lead for the Lockport Lions. Talk about this long offensive drive, Scott Pilkey, and is there an advantage to either side, perhaps for Bennett, in getting to see how Lockport will defend them for the rest of the day?
Well, I think that the most important thing of what you've seen from the first series to the second series is the adaptation of Bennett now. Bennett always wants to establish that they're the big boys on the field. They want to establish that running game. But Lockport said, hey, we're going to stop you here, and you're going to have to start throwing the ball on us. And well, to the credit of Coach McDuffie and Coach Scott, that's the adjustment that they've made. They've got this incredible talent, incredible size, but you got to know when to use it. If you have 9 in the box, it makes no sense to run right at it. Throw until that opens up your run game, because that's what they're doing right now. I wouldn't be surprised if you start to see them go to a 3-by-1 or stay in that 2-by-2 formation.
Sherrod Bernard III, 60% completion percentage, just 71 attempts a season ago at St. Mary's of Lancaster as a sophomore. Second down, 3 to go.
3-by-1, yep, they're right up the gut.
And off to Noah McDuffie. He gets tripped up by Shea Williams, not before moving the sticks past the 30.
And that's what you're going to see by this 2-by-2 that they're running right now. They're doing a nice job. They're looking at their most positive, productive plays, and they're repeating those things. Anything with backfield motion right now has resulted probably in their biggest gains on the run game so far. And now mixing that up with the pass game and play action, they got a little rhythm going right now.
Inching towards the Willoughby Insurance red zone. 1st and 10 at the 30. Sherrod Bernard looks left, bounces right, steps up, and he has some space. Bowls over one Lockport defender in Trey Thompson and gets closer towards the aforementioned red zone.
You know, you're looking at him, he's just a very aware guy. He does exactly what the quarterback's supposed to do. Step up into the pocket, and where everybody else was around him, he just continued upfield. Nice game by that young man.
Credit Trey Thompson on the tackle, not getting fooled by the sidestep and the whole body juke that was put on him. We've seen a lot of that so far by Bernard, Noah McDuffie, Jameer Thomas, a lot of that two-step and juke and jive, and a flag thrown before the snap.
Bennett!
Too many men on the field.
Ryan Lawrence goes back to the sideline, number 7 in orange, with his arms sideways as if to say, how was I supposed to know?
Everybody wants to be on that field at the same time, and sometimes illegal substitution occurs. But, just talk the young man up, get back to coaching.
The junior Ryan Lawrence now on the sideline. Out wide at the bottom of your screen is number 14, DJ Elston. The senior didn't have a catch last year. He's one-on-one with the corner Sterling Pierce the third. Handoff up the middle. McDuffie gets wrapped up, but he keeps churning the legs and brings Lucas Stiglmeyer with him. Closer towards that yard-to-gain line, but still a few short.
That's the first inside zone we've seen with the a fullback offset to the left side, and got a nice 4 yards out of it. Nice carry.
Third down, 4 to go. That penalty yardage now regained after Bennett's self-inflicted wounds continued to arise. That was the story of their first drive that resulted in a fumble that was recovered by the defense of Lockport and taken in for the game's only score thus far. 6-0. We stand just over 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. Bennett knocking at the door. Jameer Thomas on the pitch. Pye steps his way through the numbers on the right side and gets taken down just before the 10-yard line. Now entering the red zone, presented by Willoughby Insurance. Willoughby will when nobody will.
You see a nice job by number 8 getting to the outside. They didn't have containment. And then when you get this kind of speed on the outside, if you lose containment, there's no pursuit from the backside that's going to help you catch that before it makes a great run.
Trey Thompson has been everywhere, the strong safety. Looks like Jordan Boyer on every tackle out there.
Yeah, he is definitely, he's just a great athlete. There's nothing he can't do out here.
5'8", 160 pounds. A returning starter from a season ago, and a culture piece as well for Coach Trey Smith in his third year as head coach. 1st and 10 in the red zone at the 13-yard line for Bennett. The fake give and a fumble. The botch at the mesh, and Lockport snuffs it out. Liam Whalen with another tackle for loss today.
This bend but don't break aspect of the defense that you're seeing here, this is great, because if they can keep doing this, if the tendency by Bennett is to do well, and then kind of do something to take away from their drive, then this is part of a game plan, because the undisciplined nature or the mistakes in Bennett's is the only thing that's keeping them from having the lead right now.
They're missing a 6'5" offensive lineman from last year's state championship team in Rashard Perry. This is the 11th play on the drive. Bernard over the middle. Pass is caught by Donald Porter. He dances around one defender and finally is met at the 10-yard line and past it.
We talk about 11 plays. Right now, this defense has been on the field in this first, as we're coming to the end of the first quarter. Bennett has owned the first quarter, except for the fumble that was returned for the touchdown. I give a lot of credit to Lockport's keeping this score 6-0 going through the first quarter.
That wraps up the first 12 minutes of play from the northern end of Western New York. We'll bring you back to Lockport. Maybe we'll get a look at the other team's offense in the second quarter. Find out after this on Thursday Night Lights.
A fence will protect your family and pets, and the Final Outlet is Western New York's leading fence installer. Call today and schedule your free fence estimate, and take advantage of our end-of-summer 30% savings on installation, 0% financing for 18 months, and they can get it done now. 675-0800.
As the weather heats up, make sure your home stays cool. Get your AC tuned up and ready to go for $69. Don't have AC? No problem. We offer 72 months with no interest on AC installation. Plus, you can get up to $1,250 in available rebates. We also can take care of any of your home's plumbing needs, for jobs big or small. Let us take care of your home while you enjoy the weather. Call us for a free in-home estimate.
Serving all of Western New York for more than 2 decades.
A fence will protect your family and pets, and the Final Outlet is Western New York's leading fence installer. Call today and schedule your free fence estimate, and take advantage of our end-of-summer 30% savings on installation, 0% financing for 18 months, and they can get it done now. 675-0800.
HBCU football is back and ballin' on HBCU Go.
He's right to the end zone, touchdown, wide open.
Central State takes on Mississippi Valley State in the Chicago Football Classic. Saturday, September 2nd at 4, 3 Central
on My TV Buffalo.
The philosophy of Barry Goldberg. More curls, more girls. He's right. Hidden genius. The Goldbergs.
Weeknights on My TV Buffalo.
I've waited approximately 30 years for my teeth because everyone else comes first. As a mother of 2. But now it's time for me. So I called that next day and set a consultation. And then a month later, surprise. Thank you, doctor, from the bottom of my heart.
It's time for us to take care of you. Call us today for a free consultation and let us create your new winning smile.
Welcome back to Thursday Night Lights. The Lockport defense has been fantastic so far. They're up 6-0, and for good reason.
You know, like I said, the big guys in the middle are holding the apex, and you're seeing great pressure and good pursuit the entire first quarter.
The first touchdown and only touchdown of the quarter coming off the hands of Patrick Luke, who scooped up that fumble on the first drive of Bennett. The miscommunication in the backfield.
Well, it's the little mistakes that allow you to take advantages. And here's where we are right now. Down here, they're still playing great football.
3rd and 6 at the 9-yard line. Bennett looking for their first score on the 2023 season with their new quarterback, Sherrard Bernard III. He hands it off to McDuffie. A burst of speed and daylight. Touchdown! Bennett ties it at 6, just 7 seconds into the second quarter for the T-Mark touchdown.
Nice job. I formation. They've had a little success with this with the fullback down in here in the red zone. Nice job. Way to finish a beautiful 13-play drive.
That touchdown brought to you by T-Mark Plumbing. Let's get a look at the replay brought to you by Matar Law.
Instant good vision here again. You know, nice job. And again, what are they taking advantage of? They're getting to the edge.
Now, Bennett doesn't usually have a kicker on their roster. They rarely ever do. It's mostly just go for 2 every time and see what happens. That looks like what they'll do here as they send the offense back out onto the field, looking to go up by 2 and take their first lead on this young season. Bernard under center with 1 behind him. It's a handoff to Ryan Lawrence. Ball in the air, caught after a fumble. It's no good. Stopped by the Lockport D-line, which has been stout all day.
Great job, and they've been, they're going to that well over and over again with that I formation. Good work.
6-6 our score. The second quarter continues after this.
I'm Angela Brown. Monday morning on the National Desk. Migrant children in one city have no requirement to get important vaccines while attending the very same classes with kids from the U.S. Our Washington insider here to dissect that issue Monday morning on the National Desk, America's News Now.
My TV Buffalo, your station to catch live Buffalo Bison's games from Salem Field. The Bisons take on the Indians live Sunday on My TV Buffalo.
Right. We invite you to stick around for our UB Bulls halftime show. UB Bulls football, family, affordable fun. We'll showcase our Aesthetic Associate Center Scholar Athletes, presented by Dr. Todd Shotkin, participating school administrator interviews, Thursday Night Lights, and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country, first half highlights, and so much more coming up. That all on the UB Bulls halftime show as we continue our coverage of high school football in Western New York on Thursday Night Lights, kicking off the season on a Saturday afternoon.
Doesn't get much better than that. 5-2, 2-2. It's a high kick. Nice job fielding it down on the 25-yard line.
Let's get another look at that two-point conversion before the break that got stopped.
They started with that I formation push, and if it's extended, that's a great read. But again, we got to trust the eyes on the field.
Ooh, does he still have control of the nose of that football, though, as Ryan Lawrence reached across the goal line? Guess we won't know. That's the best look we've got of it, and we stick with the ruling on the field. 6-6 we stand, and finally we get our first look at the sophomore starting quarterback and captain, Graham Schultz. He was one of 3 quarterbacks in a rotation last season, took over towards the end of the year, and he's got command of the offense for his sophomore campaign. Hands it off to the lead back, Jaquan Davis, who gets a couple.
You know, you're going to see, now it's interesting to see the size that Bennett has up front. You know, you see right now, number 55, the center on Lockport, released to the inside to get up to the linebacker. That's what they're trying to do right now. You're going to see some great stuff here out of Lockport. They're going empty right now. Nice job with the count. Nice job with the hard count. Draws them off sides.
How about the poise of the sophomore with the hard count and the point? You like to see some swagger out of your sophomore. Got 2 to jump, and with that hose.
There you go. He hasn't been hit yet.
He has not. 6-foot sophomore, empty backfield. Let's see what he can do with the arm. Graham Schultz looking over the middle, nearly intercepted. It was intended for Jaquan Davis, who was out of the backfield, but just went off the hands of number 15 of Bennett. That, well, not on our roster, so we'll look to check that and see who number 15 could be. But Bennett changing things up on us. We got to stay on our toes too, Scott.
Well, I got to stand on my toes because I'm only 5'8". But, you know, you're looking here at, you know, really good push here on the D-line and the O-line. The quarterback had some time to throw it. Now he's got to find that open wide receiver and make that right decision.
Schultz now with the safety net next to him, and a screen pass to the near side. It's caught by Devontae Petricone. Shoved aggressively on the near sideline. Ball is out. Bennett says they've got it, and they do. Fumble for fumble. Now Bennett forces one.
You know, we had a nice tackle, very nice tackle, ran his feet, and in doing so, ensured the ball to come out. Very aggressive hit. Nice job.
Anthony Scott, the defensive coordinator, very happy, along with Patrick Foster on the left of your screen, welcoming back the Bennett defense. Another look at that. A low pass caught.
Great form tackle, helmet on the football. You don't teach it any better than that. And the second guy comes in and knocks it out. Good work.
Credit the forced fumble to Jordan Freeman, the senior outside linebacker. Gets his first forced fumble of his varsity career after recovering one a season ago. 6-6 our score. Bennett's offense back on the field. We really only get an appetizer of Lockport offensive plays. Now 1st and 10 at the Lockport 35.
Same
Bernard
motion.
Over the middle. Tipped and incomplete. Thomas the intended target.
You can see Bennett really liking the throwing in the seam routes now against the cover 3. They've had some nice success with it so far, and you're going to continue to see them do that the rest of the game.
Looked to be Patrick Luke, number 11 in white, who got in the way of that. Nearly went turnover for turnover on back-to-back plays and got the ball back to the Lions offense. Instead, it's 2nd and 10.
Really like the pursuit, and you know, one of the things you see about the secondary of Lockport, everybody has a nose for the football. They work on that a lot because they're in pretty good shape and everybody's around the ball.
Ryan Lawrence charges towards the Bennett sideline, not in the huddle. He remains in the game at the top of your screen at the 35-yard line. He's met by Vernon Henry across from him, one-on-one out wide. Instead, it's a handoff to McDuffie. He's met after a gain of a couple and thrown down before the 30-yard line.
You know, you got to give a lot of credit to the guy who's coming up and taking on the fullback, because they came up, took on the fullback, and forced the running back to bounce the ball out. And again, as they've been doing very well in the first half, pursuit from the backside limited that play where it could have been a big yard gainer. Patrick Luke did a nice job taking on the fullback there.
What a day for the sophomore so far. He had the fumble recovery touchdown on the first defensive drive for Lockport on the day. Nothing like high school football with The cheerleaders and pep band rocking before school even starts. This, their culmination event before the first day of classes after Labor Day on Tuesday. Shout out that pep band, who hasn't practiced yet this season. They sound pretty good, Scott.
Sound pretty good, and the hot dogs aren't smelling too bad either.
Well, I'll tell you what is smelling pretty bad, especially to defensive coordinator Anthony Scott and offensive coordinator Bob O'Connor and head coach Steve McDuffie. The whole coaching staff has to be upset with these penalties that Bennett is taking.
Well, it's 6-6. But with the talent that Bennett has right now and the opportunities that they've had, it could be a much greater, could be a greater score. And they're just missing out on so many opportunities right now because of lack of discipline. And that's the opposite. When you look at Lockport, that is discipline.
There's McDuffie really laying into his team now. And for good reason. We were just talking about it. Prior to the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll be selecting the William Mattar player of the game. Bert and Nakar call William Mattar. So stick around for the second half. This a much closer game than anybody anticipated. Very easily won by anyone on the field so far. If you had to pick a player of the game right now, though, in a 6-6 game,
I love number 11. I love number 11. I think he's, Patrick Luke has shown tenacity. He's shown focus on the football. He's following through, and he's sacrificing his body for his teammates. That's my favorite player right now.
Tonight's closed captioning exclusively brought to you by Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield. Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield. Live fearless. 3rd down and 12. Bernard throws a beautiful spiral, caught in stride by Porter. He loses the football out of bounds at the 12, but not before moving the chains and getting into the Willoughby Insurance red zone.
What a great throw and catch. Donald Porter, nice little out route, little adjustment from the seam route they've been running. You see him go out here, and again, getting the outside and just staying in long enough, make it the yards and moving the chain. Good work.
Shea Williams got the tackle and did get the ball loose. That's been a repeated storyline so far tonight. An Express Windows first down picked up. Now installing windows as low as $329 within 5 to 6 weeks. Call Express Windows today. This is the Willoughby Insurance red zone. A handoff to McDuffie. Follows the offensive line for a few. The Willoughby Insurance red zone. Willoughby will when nobody will.
That's a great power run right there. Pulled the backside guard up into the hole. You have a power eye, and this is what they've been doing down here. They're trying to impose their size and their power down here because this is their game. And right now they're bending a little bit, but they're not breaking again. Lockport's still doing a great job in this first half.
It was the rushing attack that was able to get in for the first score on the day for Bennett, tying things up at 6. At the 10-yard line, 2nd down, 7 to go. Handoff this time to Thomas. Snuffed out. Great play on the D-line from DeAndre Johnson, the junior.
You're starting to see that they're going to the well too many times. It's a second run to the left in a row. I think you're going to see maybe a little play action pass off of that, coming back to the corner route, which they've enjoyed previously to get their last first down.
6-6 our score. Bennett out of AA won the state championship a season ago, and in big fashion. They were blowing out nearly every opponent they played a season ago, which ended with a massive win in Syracuse to claim the state championship and a 42-8 victory over Newburgh Free Academy from downstate. This 3rd down with 6 to go at the 9-yard line. A handoff to the tailback. That's Thomas. Bounces to the left side and strides over the goal line. Touchdown, Tigers.
Well, you got to give Bennett credit. They ran the same essential play 3 times in a row. They're seeing something there on the edge to the outside. Very well run and great calls. Way to stick with it, Coach McDuffie.
Another look at the T-Mark Plumbing touchdown as Bennett takes their first lead on the day.
Again, you've got this power eye going left, and then it just comes down to the vision in number 2. He hasn't disappointed all day long. This is a very good offensive game plan here that you're seeing in the second quarter.
Well, Bennett does go for 2 nearly every time they score. As previously mentioned, they keep the offense out now to make up for the missed 2-point conversion that they had on their first score. Lockport opened this game scoring with a defensive touchdown. Bennett has responded with 2 scores of their own. Bernard steps and throws to the left side. A jump ball that is high, pointed, and brought down by Aaron Roseborough.
You've been going with number 2. You might as well throw it to number 1. I mean, Jameer Thomas gets you in. Number 1 gets you the extra point. Beautiful job.
14-6. Bennett leads Lockport. Another look at the Lions offense after this.
The National Desk, a network of nearly 4,000 local journalists cover America's news now.
These chemicals are not going to leave the environment.
Provides in-depth coverage, context, and clarity to major stories.
Our recall system is broken. I'm Jan Jeffcoat. Choose America's news now. Each weekday morning from the National Desk.
Weekday mornings at 7 on Fox 29.
Jameer Thomas with the most recent touchdown for the Bennett Tigers to give them their first lead on the day. Capitalized on the 2-point conversion by Aaron Roseborough. This the look at the 2-point conversion.
You know, you see the split backfield. It's Max Pro, and they're just putting one of their best athletes against one of their best athletes, and it came down with success for Bennett.
Vernon Henry disagreed, though. He thought that ball was dropped in the end zone on the 2-point conversion. A-Dot, as they call Aaron Roseborough, the senior who was top 3 in receptions last season. Comes down with it. The officials say he did. That's where we stand. The Just Pizza kickoff, a short one, fielded at the 30. And Lockport's able to get just a couple after that return was brought back by Craig Simzak.
Nice little sky kick. Allows everybody to get down. Yes, it's not going to take you back to the 10 or 15 yard line, but it secures that you can cover it.
They always talk about, did the players survive the ground? And you know what? The official standing there doesn't see where the football was. And right there, a great look at our replay crew and Kyle Barker back in the truck. That ball is on the ground. In fact, the knee of Vernon Henry is on the football in the end zone, so perhaps the wrong call made there. Regardless, Bennett has the lead, but Lockport has the football, and here is Shea Williams turning the right corner and picking up a first down.
This is a play right out of Bennett's success early on with the motion. They did the exact same thing, getting to the outside. Great job by Lockport.
The Express Windows first down, installing windows as low as $329 within 5 to 6 weeks. Another look at the first play of the drive and the quick handoff.
Really good work, great read, and the kid he accelerates. You cannot coach that level of speed.
Graham Schultz in the gun, claps his hand once. They got one false start jump, or offsides jump rather, from Bennett earlier in the game. Not able to get it on first down from the 48. Instead, it's another handoff. Wrapped up in the backfield and taken down was Jaquan Davis. Great work from the D-line of Bennett.
Yeah, you saw great penetration there. Again, the right side of the offensive line has been doing a nice job, but there was just entirely too much penetration there from the left defensive end.
It's Jazeer Fluker, who had 43 tackles for loss, including 6 tackles for loss last season. Impressive wingspan from the 6'3 senior that is an impressive track athlete as well. Qualified for states in the 220 meter last year. Here is Schultz dropping back, throwing a deep ball over the middle, off the hands of a Bennett defender, and incomplete as Noah McDuffie nearly changed the story of this game.
The nice part about this is number 4 has had some time to throw it. He's a young man, just got to settle in and make better decisions. Again, that probably wasn't the primary choice, but at least he had the time. Hopefully he can make some adjustments so he makes a better call next time he gets there to throw the pass.
Even there, Schultz locked in on his receiver, Jaquan Davis. Didn't really go through any progression there. You saw Davis threw it no matter what. That's a sophomore move.
It is. It's a young man who's playing against Bennett, state championship team.
3rd and 11, handoff for nothing. Maybe a loss of 1 there. You know, I was just at Sweet Home last night for Sweet Home and Will East, a barn burner there that we had on a different network, and I won't mention the name of the network here on My TV Buffalo for Thursday Night Lights, but I will say that the legendary coach at Sweet Home, John Faller, who has since passed away, was influential with that program, won state championship after state championship. He left with their current head coach, Jeremy Zimmer, this phrase: you lose 1 game a year for every sophomore you bring up to your varsity roster.
Well, you know, what you're looking at here is sometimes you don't have a choice, right? Sometimes you got to make the best, and I think this young man's got some poise. He just needs to open his scope a bit and see the field. But nice job by both teams right now, playing some pretty good football out here for us.
4th and long and a timeout called by Lockport, just their first of the half with 5:08 to go till halftime. When you take a look at Graham Schultz, is that something, do you see things with Graham Schultz that are impressive so far in his mechanics as a quarterback?
I think that they're doing exactly what they need to. They're keeping his package small. What he's getting to throw they're looking at the seam routes, because again it's a cover 3 defense. He's just got to make the throw a little bit earlier. He's waiting too long. He's throwing it into too much traffic.
Folks, stay tuned for the UB Bulls halftime show. UB Bulls football, family, affordable fun. We'll showcase our Aesthetic Associates Center Scholar Athletes, presented by Dr. Todd Shotkin. Participating school administrative interviews, Thursday Night Lights, Friday Night Lights, rivals, conversation from all across the country. We'll have first half highlights and so much more, and perhaps some more tunes from the trumpets and tubas and sousaphones. Did I see one of those in the back row of the Lockport Pep Band? Perhaps I did. Anyway, back on the field, it's 4th down and 11 for Lockport. They're going to punt it away, and they do. A good one, gotten off by Tanner Schultz, the junior punter. It's returned and scooped up. A big return for Aaron Roseborough as he turns the corner at the 40. A big block on that punt return. We'll get another look at that in just a moment as Bennett takes over on offense once more. .455 to go in this half. Oh boy, Cameron Noonan got lit up there. He popped right back up. He's looking for what number just laid him out on special teams.
That's just good football right there. It was a great hit, you know, and they're playing aggressive on both sides of the ball. You really got to love what you're seeing here. Lockport is standing their ground, and they're making some things happen. They're in this football game with under 5 minutes to go. Both teams are showing that they're ready to have a great season, both of them.
1st down and 10 for Bennett. Up 14-6. It's a throw for Bernard, at least expected to be. He runs, throws as a flag flies behind the pocket. It's caught by Aaron Roseborough. He makes something out of nothing, but that flag could be coming right back.
Sometimes
holding 56 on the offense.
You know, you got to hold that long. Usually you only got to hold for 2 or 3 seconds. There was some great pressure on the outside that forced the quarterback to step up. Number 9 has been doing a great job today. Again, forces the quarterback to step up. He rolls back out. And that type of thing, holding is going to happen. He's lucky he didn't cross the line of scrimmage before he threw the football.
That's Liam Whalen, the senior, who has hit his name called plenty of times. The senior Liam Whalen and the sophomore Patrick Luke, the two massive difference makers so far today defensively for the Lockport Lions. Their lone score today, a defensive touchdown that put them up 6-0 in the first quarter. Bennett responded with back-to-back touchdowns of their own and a 2-point conversion to have them up 14-6 with 4:40 to go in this first half. Look at the speed from Noah McDuffie, though he gets just a couple back after the penalty.
Yeah, like you just said, Liam Whalen is 5'9", 205, going against a much bigger offensive lineman, but he's very physical. He uses his hands well, he hits the rip well, he breaks down and he pursues.
We saw a glimpse of the speed of the Bennett Tigers on the first play of the game, a kickoff return that went for what should have been a score for Jameer Thomas if it wasn't for a holding call on that play, or a block in the back rather, that brought it back. 7 different players on this Bennett team run a 4.6 40 time or faster. That is collegiate level speed. This is Bernard in the pocket, throwing as he steps up. Jameer Thomas makes the grab, turns Patrick Luke inside out, but then gets wrapped up by the reinforcements as Shea Williams makes the play.
You saw a middle blitz there, and the best part about that is the composure of the quarterback. He delivers the ball on point, and then watching what that young man just did with the football, that was great. Still have a long way to go on this 3rd down, but they moved it to where they at least have an opportunity for a 2 down if they'd like to before they go into the half. Get that 1st down.
Jameer Thomas looks like a receiver I would use in Madden all the time. Just spamming buttons, do a spin here and there, high step at one point.
He's an exciting player to watch.
I want him on the Buffalo Bills if I could get him. 3rd down, 9 to go. The snap to Bernard, looks over the middle, steps up and throws way deep down the sideline over the head of his fellow private school transferee Ryan Lawrence downfield. Incomplete. It'll bring up 4th and long.
Got to give some credit, even though they're going for the punt right now. You got to give some credit to the way they've been picking up the blitz. The offensive line makes nice adjustments. They brought 5 the last 2 downs. They brought the Mike linebacker 2 times in a row, and neither time did the Mike get to the quarterback. Good job by the offensive line for Bennett.
It will be Ryan Lawrence, 6'1", 170 junior. Transfer from St. Francis, who won the Monsignor Martin title a season ago. Those the private schools in Western New York. 4th and 9 from their own 43. Lawrence boots it high in the air. Doesn't get much distance. Hey, you get a punt like that, do you think it would have been better off going for it?
Well, when you take a look at what they've been doing here, you just got, you haven't had too many plays by Lockport. Okay, they got to get their big guy the ball. Expect this with a great 3 minutes left to go. They've got tremendous field position. I think you're going to see every trick play in the book right here by Lockport, just to make sure they can get on the field or go in with a tie game if they can get the opportunity here over the next 3 minutes.
We've seen 2 passes get intercepted, or rather deflected, nearly intercepted by this sophomore quarterback Graham Schultz so far today. Both you could say should have been perhaps, and then a fumble that was caused by the Bennett defense for a turnover earlier. We've yet to see a full and complete Lockport drive, at least end in a score anyway. This is Jaquan Davis, who dances across the 45 and stumbles for a couple.
We've seen the young man throw this ball. He's something comfortable. And again, the game plan from Coach Trait is give him what he's comfortable to throw and let the players make the plays. That was a nice little flare. Got positive yards. Let's see where they go with this next.
2nd down and 8 to go. 2.5 to go in this first half. Boy, it would mean a lot for Lockport to get into the end zone before the break and have some positive things to talk about offensively. Graham Schultz looks to provide that. Pump fakes, feels the pressure, spins, and gets hit hard and taken down at the 35. Coming in to clean up the play, Jazeer Fluker, number 52 in orange.
Great play. Just a simple breakdown. You got to make the decision. He had the inside route open. He's got to step and throw that ball. That was a coverage sack. Nice job by Bennett.
Jazeer Fluker, help from Jason Warren on that defensive line. The senior Fluker, we already talked about. He made states for track running the 220, qualified for the Bennett team. It's just an impressive athlete to be coming at you from the D-line at 210 pounds, 6'3".
Yeah, there's not a lot he can't do. I mean, he recovers quickly. The consistency of his pass rush has been great all day. He hasn't taken any plays off. Impressive young man.
Clock stopped at 1:32. 14-6 our score. Scott Pilkey, we say adios at least for a little bit as he'll head down to the field to grab whoever's the winning coach as we approach halftime. Right now, as it stands, Stephen McDuffie is that man over with the Bennett Tigers on the far sideline. But still, now the clock continues to tick down to 1:15 and counting Lockport looking to kill as much time as they can on 3rd and long in case they don't pick up this play. Now a timeout on the field called by Trey Smith of the Lockport Lions. Once again, folks, stick around for the halftime show presented by the UB Bulls. UB Bulls football, family, affordable fun. We'll showcase our Aesthetic Associate Center Scholar Athletes presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin. And participating school administrator interviews. We'll talk about all the action across Western New York last night, Thursday night, and what we've got upcoming next week on our network as we finally move to Thursday Night Lights, where we do belong. There's a look at Trey Smith, third-year head coach for the Lockport Lions. Had to turn around the culture. He said it was tough at first. I asked, how do you do that with a team that doesn't necessarily respect a man who was coming in as an assistant coach for 20 years with the program, taking over as head coach? Trey Smith told me that it just starts with tough love right away. You got to show them, here are the standards. If you don't live up to it, sorry about it, you're not going to play. There's a look at next week's game. We're going back to my alma mater, Cheektowaga Central. Williamsville East at Cheektowaga next Thursday, September 7th at 7 p.m. only on My TV Buffalo WNYO. 1:05 to go in this first half. Bennett leading by a score. Empty set for the sophomore quarterback Schultz. 5-step drop, throws a duck on the near sideline. It's picked. Ryan Lawrence, with a minute to go in the half, gets the football a play early for Bennett. They look to add more on at the end of this first half. Welcome to Bennett, Ryan Lawrence, the transfer from St. Francis, won the Monsignor Martin Association a season ago. Moved on to the state tournament with the Frannies. Now a Bennett Tiger. The Lockport Lions are lucky he didn't bring that one to the house. He runs a 4.540. Pretty darn good for the corner. So Lawrence helps out his defense. And now he turns to his fellow private school transfer, Sherrod Bernard, to bring the Tigers back to the promised land in the end zone with under a minute to go in this half, 14-6. Bernard tosses it up. It's high, pointed, and caught on the sideline. What a grab from Jameer Thomas. Tristan Grimble, the middle linebacker for Lockport, put his hands on his head. He couldn't believe that catch. Thomas already has a touchdown today on the ground. All you got to do, throw that thing up there for him. One-on-one matchup. Thomas looks pretty cool while doing it as well. You know, if I go up to try to high point that ball and come down with it, I'm not falling out of bounds that smoothly. It's an impressive play from the 5'10 senior. 48 seconds to go. Clock stopped. The end of the first half. It's 1st and 10 from the 24. Over the middle. Pass complete. Aaron Roseborough moves Bennett inside the Willoughby red zone. Willoughby Insurance, when nobody will. Willoughby. Holy crow. Willoughby will when nobody will. Jeez, they've got it written on the side of their building as well. Here's a throw to the end zone on the near side. Touchdown, Tigers. What a grab. From defense to offense, Ryan Lawrence gets the pick to start the drive, and 30 seconds later, he caps it off in the end zone. Another look at the T-mark touchdown. It's Ryan Lawrence proving he can do it all himself just as well. And now the plethora of weapons out wide start to show out for the Bennett Tigers. That call, however, after the play, we'll get another look at this as a flag comes against Bennett. Ryan Lawrence made the grab over Sterling Pierce III. Spun the football. Let's see. That's a high jump from Jameer Thomas. Still waiting to see something here. What a celebration there from Aaron Roseborough. Nothing crazy there. Well, regardless, Bennett's going to go for 2 once more. 23 seconds to go. Clock stopped. Leading by 14, looking to make it 16. Bernard looks to the left side. It's the same play as the last. This time it's read beautifully by Vernon Henry. And the score stands at 20-6. Make it Verone Henry who made the play. He got beat on that same exact play, the last 2-point conversion attempt. This time he read it beautifully as the intended target was Thomas. Not able to come down with it. 20-6 our score. 23 seconds remain in this first half. You think back to how this game started. Bennett had a touchdown on the first play of the game on the kickoff return from Jameer Thomas. That called back on a penalty. We'll have full stats during our UB Bulls halftime show to dive into how many penalties there have been called against Bennett. Now that was the thorn in their side for a lot of them. 6 so far officially called against Bennett. That has been their issue so far. But clearly not a big enough of one for week 1 of high school football as the Tigers lead 20-6. Lockport looking back at the days of them leading 6-0 in this ball game as the glory days, but those have come and gone rather swiftly as we approach halftime. Another look at the Just Pizza kickoff, and this one not a good one, out of bounds at midfield. Lockport has a chance to do something here. We've yet to see any big completions of more than a handful of yards for Graham Schultz. 23 seconds on the clock. For Lockport, it's a pro that the clock didn't run on that kickoff at all. Stopped at 23. Just one timeout remaining. You've got a couple plays here. About 3 plays, 4 if you make them count. The officials discussing where to put the football after the kick went out of bounds. Corey Brockman, the head referee, in the middle of the 3 officials trying to confer where it will be, which is inside Bennett territory at the 45. Now they scoop the ball up. Move it back a couple yards. Chain crew's got to do some work. And they do. At the Bennett 45, it's 1st and 10. 23 seconds to tick off with the Lions holding a timeout in their back pocket. Trey Smith, what has he drawn up for the offense? Graham Schultz at quarterback, steps up, plenty of space, throws on the run. It's incomplete. In and out of the hands of the intended target, Devontae Petricone. You feel for Petricone on that. Check that. It's Sterling Pierce, the third, number 6. It's good work from the sophomore quarterback to step up in the pocket, find the space, and find an open receiver. Sterling Pierce wasn't able to come away with it. Handful of seconds tick off the clock. For Lockport, the pro of that play falling incomplete is that it stopped the clock. 17 seconds remain in the first half with the Tigers up by 14. Schultz, with pressure in his face, gets wrapped up and thrown to the turf. Jazeer Fluker, another sack. The clock continuing to run. Now, a timeout called by Lockport. They're going to likely throw a lot more time back up.
Lockport, third and final timeout.
They're going to likely put some more time back up on the clock. Jazeer Fluker. Boy, he's been impressive. 2 returning starters on the defensive line for the Bennett Tigers. Fluker and Delshawn Taylor. Lockport's got to draw something up here. Just 3 seconds on the clock right now. Perhaps they won't put any more on. Maybe that's by design from Trey Smith and company for the Lions. What a way to start your Saturday and start the high school football season, coming out to Max D. Lederer Stadium, home of the Lockport Lions, way up north in western New York. Our UB Bulls halftime show coming up in just about one play and a commercial break. We'll have stats and highlights from half number one, a look around Western New York, and so much more. Final play of the first half, 3 seconds to go. Graham Schultz at quarterback looking to make his biggest throw of his season so far. A beautifully thrown ball, but about 20 yards in front of the intended target as Trey Thompson had bursted free past Aaron Roseborough downfield, but that does it as the horn sounds on the scoreboard at Max D. Lederer Stadium. It is halftime, 20-6 the score after one half, with the Bennett Tigers leading the way. Scott Pilkey already took off. He's down on the field with Coach Steve McDuffie of the Bennett Tigers.
We're on the field with Coach McDuffie, an impressive first half. Young man, Mr. Fluker, looks like he's going to have a tremendous season. Give me some of your feedback on what you got to do to continue to have success coming out of the second half, Coach.
You know, and I think we got to control the line of scrimmage. This team with Lockport, they're pretty good up front, and we just have to continue to plug away and control the line of scrimmage and take care of the ball. And I think if we do those things, we'll be okay.
Well, I got to tell you, the team was very disciplined in the second quarter. You're doing some phenomenal things with different formations, keeping everything moving, and you stayed true to the run game, and I think it's paying off for you now, especially in the red zone. What do you think?
Well, we have to be able to run the ball. This is a run game first, right? So if we can't run the ball, I don't think we'll be very successful. That's what we've always been, a run-first team at Bennett High, and then we always try to throw the ball after.
Well, it's amazing what you guys are doing. Please continue success going into the second half. We're going to kick it back upstairs. Thanks a lot, Coach. Have a great second half, brother.
So that does it for the first half, 20-6. The Bennett Tigers and Coach Steve McDuffie on top. We'll come back with our Scholar Athletes, highlights, stats, and so much more on the UB Bulls halftime show after this on Thursday Night Lights.
UB Bulls football is back. Coach Mo has the 2023 squad ready to compete for another MAC championship. Tickets for all 6 games are on sale now. For theme game information or to buy tickets, call 1-877-UB-THERE or visit ubbulls.com.
At Express Windows, you can get high-quality vinyl double-hung windows starting at only $329. And for a limited time, buy 3, get 1 free on energy-efficient triple-pane windows. Express Windows. Fast, easy, affordable.
I'm Princess Glitterhead. I was in pain my whole life with my teeth. I want to feel better. What could I do? I could actually go all the way and actually fix myself, be healthy, get rid of all the decay. So I made a free consultation appointment. I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go get my teeth back. And I can see it helping so many people, including myself. It's gonna change your life. It really does. Wow. Oh my God.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. You can be you again. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
I don't know why I'm so emotional about it.
At Express Windows, you can get high-quality vinyl double-hung windows starting at only $329. And for a limited time, buy 3, get 1 free on energy-efficient triple-pane windows. Express Windows. Fast, easy, affordable.
UB football home opener against Fordham is September 9th at 6 p.m. Presented by Fat Man's Pizza. For a limited time, buy 4 tickets and a parking pass for only $59. This package will sell out, so get your tickets today at ubulls.com/tickets.
We are Footprints on the Moon.
Yeah, 6 tons of granite and marrakesh shits.
Performing their greatest hits. Get ready to rock. Playing in your town. It's the biggest show ever.
One plays with lightning, the other plays with boom. Play something we can dance to.
The Big Bang Theory. Weeknights on My TV Buffalo. You're watching the UB Bulls Football Halftime Report. UB Bulls Football. Family. Affordable. Fun.
Lockport Lions 20-6 here at Lockport High School at Max D. Lederer Stadium. Jack Cruiser with you for Thursday Night Lights. It's been an impressive first half as Lions came out, had the lead at first 6-0, but the Tigers came back and ran all the way up the scoreboard, taking a 20-point unanswered streak into halftime. We had a chance to choose scholar athletes from each school, and they will be presented with a trophy themselves out on the field today. Let's get a look at our first scholar athlete that was chosen for today's game.
Dr. Todd Shatkin from the Aesthetic Associates Center is proud to present Thursday Night Lights Aesthetic Associates Scholar Athlete of the Week. With a 3.0 GPA, Darrell Hamilton is the Scholar Athlete for Lewis J. Bennett High. Darrell's athletic achievements include leading the Tigers in sacks last season with 17 and being named captain for the 2023 season. Darrell is an honor roll student, and his community involvement includes being active in the Freedom Ministries Church. This All-Star is now entered for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Congratulations to the Aesthetic Associates Scholar Athlete of the Week.
And now here is the Lockport Lions Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Dr. Todd Shatkin from the Aesthetic Associates Center is proud to present one of the Thursday Night Lights Aesthetic Associates Scholar Athlete of the Week. With a 3.8 GPA, Chase Diviak is the Scholar Athlete for Lockport High. Chase's athletic achievements include awards in wrestling and track and field, and being a two-time NYSPHSAA Scholar Athlete. Chase is an honor roll student, and his community involvement includes playing taps for memorial services. This All-Star is now entered for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Congratulations to the Aesthetic Associates Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Chase Diviak, quite impressive, both on the field, in the classroom, and on the stage. Last year, leading the musical here at Lockport High School, played the role of Chad in All Shook Up. There you see him right dead center of your screen, showing the gyrations in the hips. Boy, was he impressive. Coach Trait Smith yesterday said he was in a meeting with the superintendent and all the teachers at Lockport Middle School, High School, the elementary schools, and this man in the middle of your screen and in the middle of the offense and defensive line for the Lockport Lions sang a song in front of all 800 teachers, even had Coach Trait Smith weeping in the front row for his senior offensive linemen and defensive linemen. Congratulations, Chase Diviak, our student athlete and scholar athlete from Lockport, for this week. We'll come back on the other side of this break with continued coverage from Lockport High School on the UB Bulls halftime show.
At Interstate Battery, we can power anything, big or small. Golf carts, campers, and RVs, and all of your vehicles. Stop in and see us at our Hamburg and Kenmore locations. Interstate Battery, outrageously dependable.
End of summer is the perfect time to update your deck or porch. Call Western New York's best deck and porch builders, the Vinyl Outlet. Call today, schedule a free estimate, and take advantage of our end of summer 30% savings on installation, 0% financing for 18 months. Get it done now. 675-0800.
Right here for your best moments and your toughest days. Right here for the what ifs and the what nows. For the smallest details and the biggest dreams. At Univera Healthcare, we know what it takes to care for Western New Yorkers because that's who we are. Our home is here. And more importantly, our hearts and our focus are too. That's why you can always count on us to be right here for you.
Why is Just Pizza Wing Company Buffalo's premier pizza wing company?
Since opening our doors in 1992, we've been the innovator of specialty pizzas and wing sauces, creating the best pizza and wing experience for our loyal customers.
Here at Just Pizza, we feature a variety of specialty pizzas, including our award-winning 3-cheese steak pizza.
Now serving 25 varieties of chicken wing sauces.
Hungry yet? Don't just order pizza and wings tonight. Order from Just Pizza and Wing Company, Buffalo's premier pizza and wings.
End of summer is the perfect time to update your deck or porch. Call Western New York's best deck and porch builders, the Vinyl Outlet. Call today, schedule a free estimate, and take advantage of our end of summer 30% savings on installation, 0% financing for 18 months. Get it done now. 675-0800.
At Interstate Battery, we can power anything, big or small. From hearing aids to cell phones, or something with a bit more horsepower. Stop in and see us at our Hamburg and Kenmore locations. Interstate Battery, outrageously dependable.
Back on the UB Bulls halftime show, Bennett leads Lockport 20-6 after 2 quarters of play. Jack Cruiser joined by Lockport Assistant Athletic Director Joe Scapoletti. Joe, thanks for joining us here on Thursday Night Lights.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure. Thanks for being here today.
So what goes into putting on an event like this, having the TV crew and setting up for, you've got the scaffolding up in each end zone, all the cords running. How does that pertain to your job?
I mean, it's a big effort. That's a huge part of my job, actually, is arranging event staffing. And we've got a great group of people here who are super professional in how they approach their jobs. And everybody has their own role, and everybody does it great. And you can't pull something off like that without a bunch of people. It's not about one person here. It's definitely a team effort.
And before school starts even.
Yes, yeah, and which makes it even a little bit more of a challenge. It's a holiday weekend, which is another layer to it. But, like I say, we've got some great folks here in Lockport, and we're happy to host you guys.
You've got a ton of folks set up doing security. The pep band's here. The cheerleaders are here. What has their roles been throughout the summer to prepare for a game before the school season even begins?
Right. I mean, everybody from obviously your team to your band to your chain guys, everybody. And we've got a pretty veteran group of people who have filled these roles in the past. So for them, it's just really picking up where they left off last season. And just, appreciate them being here. A little different with a 1 o'clock kickoff, but we were able to pull it off, and everything's good.
Real quickly here, Joe, on Trait Smith, his 3rd year now as head coach. He's been in this program for such a long time. What can you say about him?
He's a guy who's got a lot of passion. He cares about kids. He wants to see them be successful. He's a longtime teacher and coach in our district of multiple sports. And, wish him nothing but the best.
All right. Thank you, Joe. We'll take a quick break on the UB Bulls halftime show. Come back with highlights and stats from Lockport High School in Section 6 High School Sports on Thursday Night Lights.
UB Bulls football is back. Coach Mo has the 2023 squad ready to compete for another MAC championship. Tickets for all 6 games are on sale now. For theme game information or to buy tickets, call 1-877-UB-THERE or visit ubbulls.com.
Fall is in the air at Tim Hortons. The rich aroma of a maple cinnamon sugar latte, the sweet taste of a pumpkin spice iced cap, and the fall flavor notes of new Tim Hortons refreshers. Tim's fall menu has all your fall favorites and refreshing new ones, now at Tim Hortons.
As the weather heats up, make sure your home stays cool. Get your AC tuned up and ready to go for $69. Don't have AC? No problem. We offer 72 months with no interest on AC installation. Plus, you can get up to $1,250 in available rebates. We also can take care of any of your home's plumbing needs, for jobs big or small. Let us take care of your home while you enjoy the weather. Call us for a free in-home estimate.
Serving all of Western New York for more than 2 decades.
Save on car insurance. Call Willoughby and ask about the Willoughby Challenge.
Challenge me to lower your monthly car insurance.
With inflation so high, let Craig show you how to save.
Hey, Em, let's ride.
Let Willoughby help you save so you can relax and drive stress-free. Helping people save in Buffalo.
Helping people save in Niagara Falls.
Helping people save everywhere. Take the Willoughby Challenge today and save money. Willoughby will when nobody will.
Willoughby will when nobody will.
Fall is in the air at Tim Hortons. The rich aroma of a maple cinnamon sugar latte, the sweet taste of a pumpkin spice iced cap, and the fall flavor notes of new Tim Hortons refreshers. Tim's fall menu has all your fall favorites and refreshing new ones, now at Tim Hortons.
UB football home opener against Fordham is September 9th at 6 p.m. Presented by Fat Man's Pizza. For a limited time, buy 4 tickets and a parking pass for only $59. This package will sell out, so get your tickets today at ubulls.com/tickets.
Welcome back to Thursday Night Lights. We're standing here with Lockport Coach Smith. Coach, you had a great first half, took Bennett out of the game early, very opportunistic. Your team was running all over the field, making things happen. What do you got to do in the second half to get this game back in your positive way here?
Well, we got to clean up a couple of mistakes, and hopefully I adjusted that in the film room just now. Kids are playing hard. I mean, they're well coached, that Bennett team is. So I had to tell my boys, they got a good coach. They got good thing working. We just got to stick to what we've been doing for the last 2 weeks and just do it a little bit better than they do.
I remember you just saying here a minute ago that you made a couple adjustments with your DBs, putting a lot of pressure on them on the outside with the talent that Bennett has. But the inside, you've taken the inside run away. Some of your defensive linemen had tremendous efforts today. What do you got to say about that?
Well, they've done great. We've watched the film a lot lot this week with the D-line. So we've done some things that other people in the state couldn't do last year. We've shut it down. We just got to pick it up in the back half now.
Coach, good luck in the second half. We're going to kick it back upstairs and get to see what this team is going to do after their adjustments. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Continuing to watch the UB Bulls halftime show here on Thursday Night Lights. UB Bulls football, family, affordable fun. This was the first play of the ball game. Jameer Thomas from his own 5 to the house. But on that play, as you see on the replay, a huge block in the black thrown. That called the touchdown back. Instead, it ended up on the flip side. A high snap over the head of the quarterback for Bennett, Sherrod Bernard, scooped up by the outside linebacker making his first varsity start, Patrick Luke, who takes it in for 6. The extra point was no good. They missed it right. Instead, Bennett came back the other way, and Jameer Thomas got on the scoreboard nonetheless after having the first called back. That one counted, and then on the 2-point conversion, Aaron Roseborough caught that one, high pointed it, but upon replay, we saw that this ball came out just at the end. It's on the ground. The rest didn't see it, as Verone Henry knew he did. Regardless, that stand, it's 14 at that point to 6, and then another touchdown catch brought in by E. Ryan Lawrence after he had an interception right here. Boom, interception, E. Ryan Lawrence. He returned it for a couple. Bennett's offense took to the field with just a few minutes to go in the first half, and that's when E. Ryan Lawrence went right back to the end zone to get us to where we are, 20-6, Bennett over Lockport. This is the UB Bulls halftime show, coming back after this.
At Interstate Battery, we can power anything, big or small. Golf carts, campers, and RVs, and all of your vehicles. Stop in and see us at our Hamburg and Kenmore locations. Interstate Battery, outrageously dependable.
Some migraine attacks catch you off guard. But for me, a stressful day can trigger migraine attacks too. That's why my go-to is Nurtec ODT. It's the only migraine medication that can treat and prevent my attacks all in one.
Don't take if allergic to Nurtec. Allergic reactions can occur even days after using. Most common side effects were nausea, indigestion, and stomach pain.
Now I'm in control. With Nurtec ODT, I can treat a migraine attack and prevent one.
Talk to your doctor about Nurtec today.
The National Desk delivers America's news now.
Impactful news now from nearly 4,000 local journalists across America.
The Live Desk tracks the next weather maker across America now.
The National Desk keeps you up to date on breaking news now.
To manage that fire as it continues to spread. Watch the National Desk, America's news now.
The National Desk, every night at 10 on Fox 29.
At Interstate Battery, we can power anything, big or small. From hearing aids to cell phones, or something with a bit more horsepower. Stop in and see us at our Hamburg and Kenmore locations. Interstate Battery, outrageously dependable.
Have you ever watched me?
Yes.
Evidence. Well, you knew I was going to say something about the fact that you didn't bring any paperwork.
Proof.
You're going to have to prove all the things you're saying, both of you.
Respect.
Would you both like to settle the case that way? Plaintiff, defendant.
The People's Court.
Wonderful.
Weekdays on My TV Buffalo.
Welcome back. Thursday Night Lights on a Saturday afternoon in Western New York. Jack Cruiser with Scott Pilkey. Finally back up in the press box. Thanks for heading down on the field, Scott.
It was a pleasure. You know, you always love talking to the coaches right when they're going in to make their adjustments and when they come out with their adjustments. Both coaches are very positive about their football program and are really appreciating the way that the energy that their kids are giving them this early in the season.
Bennett Tigers lead 20-6 after one half of play. We're ready for the second half of action here on Thursday Night Lights. This is the William Matars Thursday Night Lights presented by the Vinyl Outlet. Half two underway. It's a return for Lockport's Shea Williams. He's met by two Bennett Tigers at the 25, but it's McDuffie who wraps him up, throws him down, and boy, a bit of a stare down there after that throw from McDuffie before Lockport's offense takes the field.
Well, that's your best with their best, looking at each other and going, hey, we still got a half of football to play.
When you're in the locker room, Coach, and you've been in plenty of football locker rooms in your lifetime, are there any actual adjustments that are made at halftime, or is it just catch your breath, have a banana, and get ready to go back out there?
No, I mean, Coach Smith is going to come out here and continue to try to establish the run, but he also knows he's got to get the ball out of his quarterback hands quick. And McDuffie's just going to play as aggressive as they have, and stay successful.
Graham Schultz, that sophomore quarterback, quickly does get rid of it. Trey Thompson spins away, picks up at least 5 and then some near the first down marker. Trey Thompson starts the second half in style with a first down pickup on the first play of the half.
Again, this motion that we see here has been pretty consistently successful for both Bennett and Lockport. But right now, it results in a first down. They got to establish that run again if they want to stay in it. They got to keep their defense off the field.
That first down brought to you by Interstate Batteries. Outrageously dependable. That's what Lockport needs their running game to be in this second half if they want to mount a comeback against the best team in Class AA from a season ago across the state of New York. Graham Schultz in the pocket, throws to the right. It's caught by Shea Williams once more. Check that. Trey Thompson, back-to-back catches in white. But that one not as successful as the first.
Well, they've thrown this little flare route 2 times, 3 times in the first half off to the left. That's the first time they attempted it to the right. Nice adjustments by Bennett at halftime to deal with that. You're seeing the DBs coming down. Great pursuit on that type of play.
There we see now number 3, Trey Thompson, back-to-back catches. And with those catches come hits. Back-to-back times being wrapped up and thrown to the turf, hunching over in pain as we start the second half.
What you're seeing here now is nice job.
You are seeing a nice job with the hard
Great job. Yep. You're starting to see him go to the wristband now. The tempo, they're not staying in the huddle as long. I think that their adjustment is to get the tempo going here a little bit. They're checking down to the wristband. You're not going to see as much huddle. That's the adjustment that Lockport has just made at halftime.
What was the storyline in the first half was the fact that Bennett showed up so late before the game. Very little warm-up time. They got a chance to warm up when they had the ball the entire first quarter.
Yeah, and Coach knows he needs to keep his defense on the sideline as much as he can, but he's got a lot of two-way players anyway.
Second down, 7 to go. Graham Schultz finds his receiver on the far sideline. It's a gain of just a couple for Sterling Pierce III, one of 5 captains on the squad today.
Now here's your other adjustment. What did we talk about in the first half? The young quarterback having to look downfield. He's got to check down and take what they give him. He's done that 2 times in a row now. They're pulling him out, bringing in another one. This is part of their what they call their Pokemon offense, their run-pass option. They got a wide receiver that can also throw the football. That's who you have in there now. It's their version. It's their version of their cat, but they call it the Pokemon offense, wristband-driven.
Third down, 5 to go. The direct snap to Shea Williams. Tucks it under the left arm, gets bowled over by the Bennett defender, Deshaun Elston.
You see they're running away from the right side where, Bennett's Superman, Mr. Fulcher there. They're trying to, and they brought in their number 1, their best player, trying to run it to the left. Hey, great effort, but let's see if they continue on with that wristband action going forward.
DJ Elston was a reserve on the defense at the linebacker spot a season ago, has a state championship ring on his finger, but he's got that tackle for loss that forces Lockport to punt, and just barely they do so with Tanner Schultz. Takes a great Lockport bounce and rolls all the way to the 20-yard line. How about that? Just as good as if it went into the end zone. What a punt from Mr. Schultz.
Interested to see if Bennett's coming back out with the run game to preserve the lead or if they're going to start opening it up here again. They really were very powerful down inside the red zone with that offset power eye. Be interested to see what they start out in their own red zone now coming out.
A reminder to stick around for our player of the game presented by William Mattar. Hurt in a car, call William Mattar. We'll be picking that player later on in the contest. No hints just yet on who that could be, but well, I'll give you this small one. They could be on offense right now, depending on how this drive goes. 1st and 10 at the 20 for the Bennett Tigers. Bernard throws it the middle screen to Jameer Thomas. Wrapped up, but then he breaks free. Thomas to the middle of the field. A flag flies in the back half of the play as Thomas gets across the 30 and picks up the first for the moment.
Well, we see what Coach McDuffie's going to do coming out of his own.
It's a block in the back on Delshawn Taylor, the right guard. A 4-year starter. Rare for a veteran offensive lineman to take a block in the back call like that.
Let's put some deep now. You're probably going to see him go back to the 2 tight end set with 2 wide, single back.
Well, Scott, in your conversation with Coach McDuffie right before halftime, it was funny to hear him contrast what you said they needed to do in the first half. You said they've got a pass to open the run game. And Coach McDuffie said, no, we are a run school. We run first. That'll open up the pass game. There you see some passes on early downs. Now we get another first down. This one much longer, however, 1st and 20. As you see Jameer Thomas's stats so far tonight.
I think it's a testament to his entire culture of football. It's smash mouth, and when you run the ball, everything else opens because you got to bring more people into the box.
From the 10 of Bennett, 1st and 20. Here is the run by Noah McDuffie to the right side. He's wrapped up high by Shea Williams. But a big gain on 1st and long makes up for that penalty.
Yeah, you know, what a great call. Broke to the outside. The vision of the Bennett running backs has been pretty impressive all night. Great job. Sees his opening and gets to the outside. Look at the blocking downfield by the wide receiver number 4. Tremendous effort by Roseboro. Just a really good play all around.
Give credit up front to the 8th grader Jason Hargrove in at fullback, who had a block on that play wearing number 22. Current student at Public School 81. This a handoff to E. Ryan Lawrence up the left side as they go right to left. Back-to-back run calls and getting towards the first line. And another look at the 8th grader Jason Hargrove. Now, 5'11", 220 is this young man. In 8th grade, Bennett, a combination of 5 different local high schools in the city of Buffalo. He gets to choose where he goes to high school. Why would you not choose the Bennett Tigers?
Well, he's obviously going to be a young man who's not done growing yet. You know, this is going to be somebody that, like Perry last year, the continuation of the success of their student athletes going on to 4-year schools, similar to what, you know, Canisius has had, or St. Joe's in the past, or, you know, South Park. Bennett has kind of taken over that process in the city.
Coach Steve McDuffie's son, a 3-year veteran at linebacker for the Green Bay Packers, Isaiah McDuffie, a Bennett High School grad way back in 2017. A deep shot for Bernard down the left side. It's caught. Aaron Roseboro. Another beautiful catch for a Bennett receiver, and a huge gain flips the field.
Just, again, I've got to say enough about the protection that the quarterback's getting. There's plenty of pressure on the outside, but they're holding that apex so he can deliver the football. Great job. Look at this. He's got everybody closing in around him. He stands in there and delivers a really nice ball. Great adjustment and awareness by the wide receiver.
The one-on-one matchup out wide, won by Bennett again. Feels like we've been saying that all day as the Interstate Batteries first down graphic is thrown up on your screen once more. It's been happening for Bennett a lot more than it has for Lockport today.
Well, and according to Coach White, he had to stop the run game. And now we're forcing Bennett to throw the football.
1st and 10 at the 39. Well, there's a run for E. Ryan Lawrence. Back to this point on Jason Hargrove and the 8th grader getting to choose where you go to high school. This Bennett program runs like a collegiate program. They've got 8 different coaches on the sideline. They run their practices in a very college-like tempo and setting. You got all your position groups running with their coaches, getting their individual technique drills, and then come together for 7-on-7 full team practice. It's very collegiate in their mechanics and also collegiate in the weight room.
Oh, yeah, and you got to look at the coaching staff. Coach Scott, has played at the University of Buffalo. Coach McDuffie played at the University of Buffalo. They know what they're doing here.
A hole breaks free for E. Ryan Lawrence, who has become the feature back on this drive for the Bennett Tigers.
It's that off tackle left as they get down into the red zone that they've had consistent success with.
There's a penalty on the play, though. This will come back. Ryan Lawrence transferring from St. Francis. We've talked a bit about them winning the Monsignor Martin Championship a season ago. He got to sit behind Ricardo Kidd, who was
54 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, thank you, Corey. He was a very impressive running back and a Connolly Cup finalist last year for the St. Francis Red Raiders. Do you think Ryan Lawrence was able to take anything learning behind such a stellar athlete?
Well, I think when you're in a position to be under guys like Jerry Smith, you know, you take the culture and you brought it to another place that also has that tough persona culture.
The play action pass. Bernard chased in the pocket, steps up, hit once more, still on his feet, now pushed down from behind as Lockport's defense was able to get there. Liam Whalen broke free first, but he was eventually taken down by Chase Deviak, our scholar athlete.
Liam Whalen is just a tough kid all around and continues on the pursuit. I mean, he pushed it upfield, did his job, made the quarterback step up into the pocket, and then he continued his hustle to finish that play off. That's a great play. That is a play of the game right there, of effort. That was an amazing job by that young man.
The camera work from our crew, fantastic. 20-6 our score. The clock is ticking on the Lockport Lions for their home opener of the new school year. We've got quite a slate of games coming up for you on Thursday Night Lights, and it continues next week Thursday. Williamsville South heads to Cheektowaga. We'll talk more about that matchup and this matchup on the other side of this break. It's the William Mattar Thursday Night Lights show presented by the Vinyl Outlet, continuing after this.
HBCU football is back and ballin' on HBCU Go. Central State takes on Mississippi Valley State in the Chicago Football Classic. Saturday, September 2nd at 4, 3 Central.
On MyTV Buffalo. MyTV Buffalo, your station to catch live Buffalo Bison's games from Salem Field. The Bisons take on the Indians. Live Sunday on MyTV Buffalo.
Tonight's closed captioning is exclusively brought to you by Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield. Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield. Live fearless. Today we had a wonderful meal brought to us by Cusaminos Pizzeria. How about this? Take a look at this little card they gave us. Look at this special deal they've got running. If you can see that, dessert cheesecakes. I hear they're fantastic. Let me tell you, the pizza is even better. It was a fantastic meal pregame. Thank you, Cusaminos. Now back to the game here on Thursday Night Lights, Bennett and Lockport. First downs are 8-2 in favor of the Bennett Tigers. They need one here on 3rd and long, 3rd and 25 from their own 47. Instead, it's a screen pass. Aaron Roseborough, but he's got a convoy. Roseborough breaks a tackle up high, gets down past the 40, and is near the original line of scrimmage line. So 10 yards still to gain coming up on 4th.
Delshawn Taylor is 5'9", 265 pounds, and he was running down there like he was a linebacker. Tremendous effort downfield. That's why they were successful. Great job downfield blocking.
Delshawn Taylor, 2021 All-Western New York player at right guard, a 4-year starter. He's been impressive on both sides of the ball.
He's definitely somebody we'd love to see at Erie Community College, I can tell you that much. Great motor.
A little bit of a perk for you to get to come out here.
Absolutely. Recruit, recruit, recruit. Never stop recruiting.
What better way to recruit than
always
throw on the left side? Caught by Jameer Thomas. He breaks free on 4th down. He moves the sticks. What a run from Jameer Thomas, who has been impressive all afternoon.
Looks like he took a little helmet on the thigh pad. He's still down, but it was a nice tackle. But this kid is just a ball of energy, isn't he? Fun to watch.
After picking up the Interstate Energy first down, it looks to be just a cramp as Jameer Thomas takes the helmet off. This is kind of what we expected at the start of the game, not to mention with the late warm-up time, but also first week of the football season. You see a lot of this late in the game, perhaps just not used to full game experience just yet.
Well, like we were talking about the 10 penalties for Bennett and 0 when you're coming to Lockport. You got to... Coach Smith has got a very disciplined young football team playing against the state champions. State champions made a lot of penalties earlier, but they've cleaned it up. I'm really impressed with what Bennett is doing, and both teams are playing with great sportsmanship, exactly like they told them to at the very beginning at the coin toss.
A non-conference matchup, always good to see good sportsmanship. After the 4th down pickup, it's the 10th play of the drive. And another run for Ryan Lawrence with help and blockers. Ryan Lawrence into the end zone for a Tigers touchdown.
Yeah, this is the consistency. When you get to the replay here, you're going to see them going left. They've been running left. I don't know what the exact stats are, but most of their big games have come running to the left side of their line, especially with that lead blocker.
The Tim Hortons touchdown put in by the transfer from St. Francis. Another look at it.
Again, here you got the pulling, number 54 to the outside, lead blocker all the way downfield, and it's just a walk-in, untouched.
You mentioned Delshawn Taylor earlier on the drive. What a pull from the right guard, who ends up leading that convoy of him and Kamari Cook. We haven't said his name too much, number 8 in orange, but him and Delshawn Taylor pave the way for Ryan Lawrence to stride over the goal line and make it a 20-point lead now for the Bennett Tigers, looking to make it 22. Sherrod Bernard under center, hands it off. Ryan Lawrence does it in style. I don't know about you, but Bennett is up by 22. It's 28-6, the score. We'll be back with perhaps Lockport's response after this on Thursday Night Lights.
Live, get ready to rock. Playing in your town. It's the biggest show ever.
Play something we can dance to.
The Big Bang Theory.
Weeknights on My TV Buffalo. My TV Buffalo, your station to catch live Buffalo Bison's games from Salem Field. The Bisons take on the Indians live Sunday on My TV Buffalo.
William Mattar, Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Vinyl Outlet. Glad you could join us all afternoon. Great way to start the high school football season on My TV Buffalo, WNYO. Scott Pilkey with Jack Cruiser. Thanks for spending the afternoon with us as Bennett is continuing to pour it on here at Lockport High School and Max D. Lederer Stadium, and they're ready to kick it off after scoring another touchdown in this third quarter. 1:36 to go in the third.
You know, we talk about not seeing guys like Kamari Cook because Kamari Cook has only been on the field as a linebacker for 22 offensive plays that Lockport has run, against what seems like all-day offense. What a nice hit. Nice return nice job. Keeps going.
Trey Smith at the 35, finally taken down on a Just Pizza kickoff return. He's a nice little player there, Trey Thompson, and Shea Williams, the two receivers for Lockport. I'd like to see him a bit more in the offense, but like you mentioned, they haven't had the chance.
22 plays with a sophomore quarterback. You know, this is a great game to see what they're good at. Because if you're playing against a team like this, you know, you want to be in it, you want to be respectable. And they have been. I mean, this is going into the fourth quarter, this is a real testament to how well they prepared this football team with such a young quarterback. And when you look at the defense on Bennett, it's senior laden against sophomores and juniors on Lockport.
Graham Schultz over the middle, well over the target. And that was Tristan Grimble, backup running back who was out wide.
And I think he's got a nice future. He's got a good arm, good release, and he seems to have some poise sitting back there. He's just, again, he's got to learn to read progression, and that'll happen throughout the season.
He's also got the aesthetic, number 4 with the binky mouth guard as well. Looks like DK Metcalf with that in.
See, that's being young. You see that stuff.
Does that stand out as a recruiting coordinator? Are you looking for style out there, too?
Binkies don't do it for me. Let's just say that. Look at that quick hitter. Up the middle. Very nice job.
Jaquan Davis across the 45, pushed out of bounds. Continuing to run is the 8th grade D-end, Jason Hargrove, who ended up leaping over the Lockport bench.
That was a gang tackle. They literally wanted to take him and put him on his sideline and said, hey, look, take a break. I think half the defense walked him over to the bench there. Great job.
1st and 10 right at midfield. Lockport moves the chains. That's a big first down for Lockport.
Good sight adjustment upstairs by the Great sight adjustment by the coaches upstairs. That quick hitter underneath the pressure that's been getting upfield on him. Let's see if we get a little bit more of that.
Graham Schultz getting rid of the ball quickly. In motion is Shea Williams. It's a handoff instead to Davis on the left side. Lowers the shoulder and moves forward once more.
They're seeing something from the over-penetration. I think what's happening right now is that Bennett's playing very aggressively. They know they have the lead, and you're seeing a little bit too much push up front and playing from behind, running the football, getting good at what you still need to get grow in. That's a good coaching right there, is allowing them to run the ball, establish a great time to get the defense a little bit more rest.
Good work from the Bennett defense as well. Things got a bit heated in the last couple plays. Noah McDuffie calming down his senior Jameer Thomas. This is Devontae Petricone, who will move the sticks for Lockport for yet another Interstate Batteries first down on this drive as the third quarter continues to come to a close as we're now down under 30 seconds remaining.
They must have been listening to us upstairs saying that they only had 22 plays to this point, putting together a really nice drive now that's going to put them in a position here to score and hopefully have, a little bit more opportunity to score even further and just address all the things they still need to work on with this young man. Get the ball out of his hands quick and just move the ball downfield. Get some consistency. Good work.
Just one senior on the offensive line for Lockport as well. That is our scholar athlete, Chase Deviak. He's got the C on his chest for a reason. But to the left of him, it's all juniors, and then the right tackle is a sophomore. So that, with a sophomore quarterback, is clearly something that's only going to get better. And how about a test for the number one team in Western New York to come in and test that young offensive line right away, as Chase Deviak is in the center of that, the lone senior of that line.
Well, this Lockport's going to have, if they stay healthy, they're going to have a very good season this year because they're opportunistic, they hustle, they're in shape, well coached. They've played against the state champion. They're doing a great job out here. Very impressive and disciplined football team.
Some thought this might have been the biggest blowout of the weekend, given the fact that Bennett was the number one team in AA in the state of New York, and Lockport won just 4 games last year down in Class A. It has been anything but that. Competitive from at least the second play of the game after the return touchdown on the first play that was called back.
Well, a good football team will create opportunity and be able to take advantage of those opportunities. And Coach Smith has his boys doing that. They believe. You don't see a single, look at the body language. There's nobody sitting on the bench. They're down 28-6. Everybody who's not playing still has their toes on the line. That's a disciplined football team.
Tough love. That's how Trey Smith did it. Turned around a program up in northern Western New York. 2nd and 10. Hand off to Davis. He's got some room near the numbers. Good tackle once more by Bennett's defense. And that number 15, who we still have not been able to figure out. Someone didn't bring the right jersey today.
Well, we've got a really nice job by DeAndre Johnson, left guard, and Lucas Stegelmeyer. They've done a nice job here opening that left side, that quick little hitter that they've had. They've run the same type of play off to the left. Right up the A gap, and the running back's been able to bend it out nicely. They're putting together a great drive. I'm really impressed right here.
Jaquan Davis, also just a junior. Really the only starting senior not on the line. We mentioned Chase Deviak. Shea Williams out wide, and boy, he's a talent. 6'3", 185 as a senior. Led the team in receptions and yards a year ago. he's the only guy that's going to leave the offense in terms of weapons next season. As we invite you to stick around for our William Mattar player of the game later on in the fourth quarter, which is coming up just about now as the horn sounds in Lockport, New York. But the third quarter has come to a close, 28-6. The Bennett Tigers proving their dominance to start the 2023 season. They look to wrap things up and head back to the city of Buffalo in the fourth quarter after this.
Front Porch Siemens say, let's change it now. End of summer is the best time to make your home safe. Save now with 30% off installation and 0% interest for 18 months. We've proudly served over 30,000 customers. Call the Vinyl Outlet, 675-0800.
Why is Just Pizza Wing Company Buffalo's premier pizza wing company?
Since opening our doors in 1992, we've been the innovator of specialty pizzas and wing sauces, creating the best pizza and wing experience for our loyal customers.
Here at Just Pizza, we feature a variety of specialty pizzas, including our award-winning 3-cheese steak pizza.
Now serving 25 varieties of chicken wing sauces.
Hungry yet? Don't just order pizza and wings tonight. Order from Just Pizza and Wing Company, Buffalo's premier pizza and wings.
Front Porch Siemens say, let's change it now. End of summer is the best time to make your home safe. Save now with 30% off installation and 0% interest for 18 months. We've proudly served over 30,000 customers. Call the Vinyl Outlet, 675-0800.
On the next Karamo, what we find on his phone will leave her jaw on the floor.
Are you serious?
On the next Karamo.
Monday on My TV Buffalo. It's the word game where culture goes pop. Host Leah Remini.
America's sweetheart. Give me an answer.
But mostly, it's all about people.
Can I have chocolate?
I like the way you talk, Tana.
People Puzzler, all new this fall on My TV Buffalo.
Today's closed captioning is exclusively brought to you by Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield. Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield. Live fearless. Third down, 4 to go at the 31-yard line for Lockport, who has been driving. It's Shea Williams on the end around. Has some room on the right side. Gets pushed backwards from good defense from Bennett on that near sideline. Cameron Olden ends up pushing him back short of the first down, at least as of right now.
As this season goes on, you're going to see Shea, big numbers for Shea. And you're also going to see they're starting to establish a run game. In this drive alone, Lockport has run the ball for 26 yards in this drive alone, which is, they're down 28. They're not throwing the ball up. They're still playing football. Great job by Coach sticking to his game plan.
4th down and 1. A one-on-one matchup at the top of your screen. Williams in motion. Graham Schultz claps his hands. Bennett adjusts defensively, and Lockport does as well, checking the wristbands. It's a sneak as Schultz got up under the center. A perfect handoff from Devin Darrell to Graham Schultz, who moves the sticks with his legs. First down.
I was talking to Coach Smith this week. They literally just put that play in this week. They're going to the wristbands. They're doing a nice job.
Bennett was not ready for it whatsoever. Great work up front. Devin Darrell, specifically the center, with a smooth handoff with his sophomore quarterback. Having that center quarterback relationship for growth for the next 2 years will prove to be worthwhile. That pass tipped off the hands of Williams and intercepted. Noah McDuffie with the pick. All but secures the game for Bennett at this point in the fourth, but a flag is on the field.
This is great football. The young man is trying to make things happen late in the game. And again, it's
on the defense.
Just got to know when to throw it, when to put it into traffic like that.
So it's on the return. So the turnover will count, and Bennett's offense will take the field after this break. 28-6. We'll wrap things up from Lockport as the fourth quarter rolls on here on Thursday Night Lights.
My TV Buffalo, your station to catch live Buffalo Bison's games from Salem Field. The Bisons take on the Indians live Sunday on My TV Buffalo.
We've watched them grow up.
How do I look?
But some things
To my peanut.
never change.
Make time stop. Make it stop.
Mom!
Relive the greatest moments with your favorite family.
Nothing bad's gonna happen.
The Goldbergs.
Weeknights on My TV Buffalo.
We awarded some trophies tonight designed by Niagara Awards. So shout out Niagara Awards, the William Mattar Thursday Night Lights trophies designed by them. And they do look great. They'll be proudly presented to our scholar athletes today. We may even have an example here. Holy crow. For the winner of this game, we'll show you just after this. As the first play of the drive for E. Ryan Lawrence, he tries to shake up one defender and move to the first down marker. Nearly does. Take a look at this. Holy crow. I feel like I'm
as tall as I am.
I'm Roger Goodell awarding this to the Super Bowl champ. I mean, this is an impressive piece of work. So Niagara Awards, shout out to you, and congrats to whoever will walk away with this trophy each week that we have a winner. Right now, it looks like that'll be Bennett. 28-6, they lead Lockport here in this fourth quarter, breaking the huddle. And just about to move on this drive that, Scott, we can assume they'll just kill the clock here and get things going.
I think, Coach McDuffie wants to be a running team. He's going to run it and continue to get better, just like Coach Smith is with his guys. You may win a game, you may lose a game, but you have to constantly get better at what you're supposed to be doing. And that's what Bennett's going to do right now, like you said. Let the clock run down. And Coach Smith has had a great game plan against the state champion football team.
This is a real good chance to get some reps in for the 8th grader, Jason Hargrove. Coach McDuffie says, number 22 in orange could be better than any of my kids. For reference, his oldest is a third-year pro with the Green Bay Packers. So that's pretty high praise. But he said it's not about he could be. It's the potential, but you got to put in the work.
Exactly, and it's the constant development that you talk about. Look at this. Look at him break through that line.
And now Ryan Lawrence all the way to the 45-40 on the other side of the field. What a run for E. Ryan Lawrence, eventually taken down by Jaquan Davis. But Lawrence is really having a coming-out party in the second half.
You start to see the size of Bennett, the leaning on the kids, and you start to see their talent get to the next level. I mean, just great push by the right side of that line, and before you know it, he's into the secondary.
15 yards from the end of the result of the play.
Well, just as we were giving him credit, an unsportsmanlike call against the 8th grader, Jason Hargrove. You're going to get that at 13 years old.
The 8th grader, yeah. He's not a poised. This young man was probably too big to play Little League football. And now he's playing up here, and he's as big and strong or stronger than most of the juniors and seniors he's playing against.
Scott, have you seen baby Gronk?
His father sent me an email.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk more about that after this break on Thursday Night Lights. Perhaps we've got our own baby Gronk and Jason Hargrove here in Western New York.
Right here for your best moments and your toughest days. Right here for the what ifs and the what nows. For the smallest details and the biggest dreams. At Univera Healthcare, we know what it takes to care for Western New Yorkers because that's who we are. Our home is here. And more importantly, our hearts and our focus are too. That's why you can always count on us to be right here for you.
So the Bennett Tigers marching on 28-6. The score here, Thursday Night Lights. Jack Cruiser, Scott Pilkey with you for your Saturday afternoon matchup. You can get to college football later in the day. Thanks for sticking with us here for high school football in Western New York. Getting to know the youth of high school football here. And we left off talking about Jason Hargrove, the 8th grader, playing on a reigning state championship roster with Bennett this year now. Baby Gronk, I left you with a quick little tease at the before that break. Is just a young player down. I don't even know where he's from, but he's blown up on social media. There's now a baby Diggs in Buffalo who is, I think he claims to be the best 9-year-old football player in the country.
Well, that's the kind of recruiting I don't get involved with.
But even so, you see these kids that are so large for their age. like you were saying about Jason Hargrove, you almost don't want to put them in their age group of Little Loop football.
Well, he's so ahead of the curve, because of his height, his weight, his strength. I mean, his muscle build. I was down on the sideline. I couldn't believe he was in the 8th grade. So, just hopefully that he's taking care of his academics and everything else. He's going to be doing well, and he's got a great future ahead of him.
An injury timeout on the field. I believe it's Shea Williams down on the field. But as we bring you back into the booth, we will take a look at Ryan Lawrence, who has been fantastic so far today in his debut with the Bennett Tigers after transferring from St. Mary's. Take a look at what he's been able to do.
Yeah, he gets out in space, and just his ability to, with one step, hold you, and then he gets vertical. And he's on both sides of the ball. He's had amazing effort. Just look at the range, look at the body control that he has. This is a very exciting young man to watch. Then coming out here, body awareness, just a great all-around football player. A lot of fun to watch. And getting out here with that lead block, nice job.
He's been fantastic in his Tiger debut. A big loss for the St. Francis Red Raiders to lose Ryan Lawrence, but you start seeing that, Scott, more and more at the high school level in Western New York with the way that it's set up in Buffalo, where the city schools, wherever you go to high school, or rather wherever you may live throughout the city of Buffalo, you can choose which high school you go to. And it almost creates a super team like Bennett, where teams like Hutch Tech kind of get left out in some of the kids that live in that area or, other areas of the city of Buffalo. Why would you choose to play anywhere else besides the state champs and go for a coaching staff who produces NFL talent?
Well, you've also got, you had Coach Delaney at South Park had a great run. Coach Tony Trelizio back when he was, Riverside years ago. One city team is always going to do very well when they have tremendous athletes, but that's the same anywhere, whether it's Lancaster, Clarence, Orchard Park. But we got to remember, there's only so many players, realistically, in Western New York that are collegiate level players. There's 400,000 seniors that graduate every year. There's 20,000 freshman seats, freshman roster seats. There's very few opportunities, but Bennett has produced year in and year out great quality student athletes. So it's a testament to their coaching staff and culture.
Well, my apologies to the Williams family if they're tuning in. It's not Shea Williams who is shaken up on the play. Instead, the senior wideout Verone Henry, who had a nice defensive play earlier in the game on a 2-point conversion to break up a pass. He's favoring that right leg as our camera crew does a nice job to show us what happened there. He'll get more attention from the training staff on the sideline.
See, that's the key to the high school success is health. You've got to stay healthy. A young man like that's got some talent. It's not around. You can't train the speed at this age. You can cultivate it when they get to height later in high school and college, but good young athletes that, injury can kill any team out there right now, even Bennett.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And in fact, that's a good point. They're missing one of their best players from last year's season that was an expected Connolly Cup member. Shamir Land out for the year, tore his ACL in the preseason with the Tigers. He's out for the season, a big loss. But we take a look at what happened here in the upper right, way at the top of your screen. Ooh, doesn't look comfortable. You hate to see that.
It's just part of the game.
Tried to walk it off.
Game, It's part of the game. But hopefully the young man's okay. They got him off the sideline.
They bring over the table to look at Verone Henry, our best with him. Just to wrap up this point on Jason Hargrove and developing that ultra-talented youth and young player at 12, 13, 14 years old. They aren't even letting him in the weight room with this collegiate level weightlifting program they have at Bennett. They recognize his age. And when I talked to Coach McDuffie about it, he said, you don't want to mess with the growth plates as it's thrown downfield and tipped incomplete. Nice play by Shea Williams to come across and steal what could have been a big gain for Bennett on third down. It'll bring up, check that, it'll now bring up third as that was second.
Well, that's a great consideration by Coach McDuffie. You don't want to...
He thought he had it. The reaction there. Shamir Thomas, he's had an impressive day. We're going to pick a player of the game at some point in this fourth quarter, Scott, but there's about 3 or 4 really key players that have contributed to the success of the Tigers this game so far.
You know, they're a complete football team, and to their credit, they've really been disciplined in the second half. Good coverage downfield, no flag.
Over the middle, it was a pass looking for Ryan Lawrence. He wanted a flag, but it was broken up by Patrick Luke. How about a game for the sophomore? He scores his first varsity touchdown on his first drive at outside linebacker for Lockport way back in the first quarter. And now he's still getting some good touches against the standout program that is Bennett.
I mean, you can't ask number 11 to do any more. He's coming off the edge, rushing the passer. He's taking head on the fullback, and now he's walking out on that speed to cover a slot receiver. Very well, by the way. Nice job by that young man.
28-6, Bennett leads Lockport, 7:59 remaining in the fourth quarter here on MyTV Buffalo. Wherever you may be joining us, hey, thanks. Scott Pilkey with Jack Cruiser here. Another shot for Bernard, denied by the D-line, who puts the pressure on. Bernard able to throw it away. It's too short for Thomas, who isn't too happy. He wanted another.
You know, they're up 28-6, and they're a running team, but they're still got to work on their pass game, too. You know, some people might say, why are they throwing the football when it's 28-6? So because you only get so many opportunities to learn how to do it. And right now, you're seeing a great offensive push by Bennett, and the defense is continuing to stay in there, playing tough against the run and bringing pressure against the quarterback, even when they're down 28-6. Really impressed again with both of these, how well both of these teams are coached.
That's a turnover on fourth down that'll bring out the Lockport offense. Just tough to replace a starting quarterback at the caliber of Antonio Davis III last year for Bennett. Nearly 1,800 yards and 22 touchdowns on the season. Just 2 interceptions last year. Those are some big shoes to fill. Speaking of shoes to fill, the sophomore quarterback Graham Schultz completes a pass over the middle to Trey Thompson, but a flag against Lockport will bring it back.
He's had some nice success throwing the ball to the flare or the out. You can see that's where he's more comfortable. I can see them putting in some concepts here where he pumps to the flare and and that's one of the ways that they can see here. What he throws well, he can pump to the flare and look down to the seam. That might be something they make adjustments into their next game next week.
It took till the 7:44 mark of the fourth quarter for Lockport
number 70 on offense, enforced from the previous spot, 10 yards.
to take their first penalty on the day. That compared to 11 penalties for 100 yards against Bennett. You wouldn't guess that, showing just the scoreboard, 28-6 at this point in the game.
Well, that's good news for Bennett, because if they can eliminate that 100 yards, think of where the score could be. Not that this has been a dominant physical beatdown of Lockport. It hasn't been. It's been some big plays and some breakdowns on coverage. Other than that, Lockport is really put their best foot forward today, man. I'm very impressed with this young football team.
Graham Schultz fires incomplete. Quick look to the sideline. You see Verone Henry still getting looked at by the athletic trainer for Lockport, now with ice on that right leg. Our best and well wishes sent to him in his recovery. You just hate to see that early in the season. You hate to see it ever, but you'd hate to see it early in the season of a senior who hasn't even gone to a class yet this year, with classes starting on Tuesday.
Well, you can really, his effort has been great all day. So is every kid that's been playing here on Lockport. And Bennett, this is a really great first game. They're further ahead than I would have suspected going into this. You're not seeing the breakdown of play.
A big rush from the blind side. Graham Schultz wrapped up by the shoulder pads and thrown down, and he got messed up.
Delshawn Taylor all over the place today. Runs well. Good football player.
We're seeing a bit more of the rotation on defense for Bennett now, sending in some of the reserves on the D-line as the starters take a breather on the bench on the opposite end of the field. There's the defensive coordinator, Anthony Scott, in his 4th year on the left. Coach McDuffie on the right, both calling out instructions. Even though there's 7 minutes left in the game and they're up by 22, it's still coaching, constantly coaching.
Coach to finish. Coach to finish. Always coaching. There's always a bit to learn.
At what point do you think Coach McDuffie is done talking about last year's success?
I don't think you ever are, because it's taken so long. The state championship mentality is a continuation. It's proof. It's what's built into your culture. Doesn't mean you're ever going to win another one. But to get that one and to be that one that did it with the players that he did, you've got to continue to promote that, because that recruits the young people, like we were talking about, the 8th grader who's a phenomenal genetic specimen at 13 years old. Those kids are in those same neighborhoods. They want to go play, wear the orange, be part of the Bennett Tigers. I mean, they're doing some big things here right now.
Bennett up in Class AA has quite a schedule for this coming season, as that punt is blocked and a tough one to swallow for the Lockport Lions. Chased down and scooped up by guess who? E. Ryan Lawrence. Let's talk about a motor.
Well, and it's.
Well, we'll take a break here with just a few minutes left in the 4th quarter. We'll wrap things up and let you know who our player of the game is after this.
UB Bulls football is back. Coach Mo has the 2023 squad ready to compete for another MAC championship. Tickets for all 6 games are on sale now. For theme game information or to buy tickets, call 1-877-UB-THERE or visit ubbulls.com.
A fence will protect your family and pets, and the final outlet is Western New York's leading fence installer. Call today and schedule your free fence estimate, and take advantage of our end of summer 30% savings on installation, 0% financing for 18 months, and they can get it done now. 675-0800.
I had problems with my teeth. My aesthetics meant everything to me. I knew I needed work done, and I needed great help. We made it over to Dr. Shacken. I had a fix on 6. Dr. Shacken was able to work out a plan that was affordable for me, very easy, wasn't no pain. I'm able to eat. I'm happy with who I am.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
Look at me.
If you want to lower your car insurance rate, take the Will It Be Challenge. Call Craig here and see if you can lower your monthly payments.
Thank you to all who have called. The calls, they just keep coming in.
It's so busy right now, they've hired some new employees. That's Shorty and Macy. Willoughby loves dogs, and Willoughby loves saving you money. With inflation, this is smart people. Challenge Craig to reduce your payment in one phone call.
I bet I can.
Willoughby will when nobody will.
Willoughby will when nobody will.
The National Desk, a network of nearly 4,000 local journalists, cover America's news now.
Leaving the city frustrated with crime and homelessness.
The National Desk team of impartial, unbiased, and fact-based journalists.
Require car companies to make sure their safety systems worked at night.
Choose America's news now, each weekday morning from the National Desk.
Weekday mornings at 7 on Fox 29.
A fence will protect your family and pets, and the final outlet is Western New York's leading fence installer. Call today and schedule your free fence estimate, and take advantage of our end of summer 30% savings on installation, 0% financing for 18 months, and they can get it done now. 675-0800.
UB football home opener against Fordham is September 9th at 6 p.m. Presented by Fat Man's Pizza. For a limited time, buy 4 tickets and a parking pass for only $59. This package will sell out, so get your tickets today at ubbulls.com/tickets.
6:34 to go in the 4th quarter, a 28-6 lead for the visiting Bennett Tigers here at Lockport High School and Max D. Lederer Stadium. We replay the 4th down that sent us to break thanks to a penalty against Bennett. It's a fake and a dance move from Trey Thompson. He shakes his way to the line of scrimmage, but not beyond it. Coach Trey Smith with his arms to his sides, shrugging. Why'd you do that? Well, let's roll our player of the game graphic. We've waited all day to announce it. It's Noah McDuffie, the catalyst to the offense for the Bennett Tigers.
Been consistent all day, making plays on offense and defense. Just an all-around great football player. And excellent job carrying the name that has continued to grow in Western New York. The McDuffie name is consistent with great play.
Noah McDuffie, an interception defensively, a touchdown offensively. He's the catalyst to this offense, and for good reason. Our player of the game for week 1 of Thursday Night Lights on My TV Buffalo. The road gets tougher and tougher as the season goes on for the Bennett Tigers. They head home to All-High Stadium next week for a matchup on Friday night with McKinley. I'll actually be on the call for that game. How about that? Just more and more Steve McDuffie for yours truly.
Hey, that's all right.
A throw and nearly intercepted. Roseboro comes down with it and gets a few. It's McKinley next week. That's another non-league game as McKinley's down in Class A. Then Orchard Park, week 3 at All-High Stadium, is a big-time matchup that Bennett has to be ready for. But for them, they're lucky to have some warm-up games early in the year, almost preseason.
I just saw Orchard Park and Williamsville North last night. Orchard Park is very consistent. Right now, I'm looking at, after watching teams like Orchard Park, Williamsville North, Lockport, and Bennett, Bennett's ahead of the curve right now. If they stay healthy, they may take another run at it this year.
They've got a run late in the season, home against Lancaster, at Frontier, at Jamestown, who's back up in AA this season with a heck of a team down in the southern tier. A good tune-up game as a new quarterback's in. Jordan Freeman at quarterback for the Bennett Tigers. A flag flies from the far sideline on the keeper. Jordan Freeman, a pure running quarterback from what Coach McDuffie told us this week. In case anything was ever to happen to Sherrod Bernard, and we all knock on wood in the press box and say we hope that is not the case, Jordan would be the man to come in. How important is it to get him good reps in this week?
I think in any game, no matter what the score is, you never stop coaching these kids to develop. Even when you're down 28-6, Coach Smith's got to be telling his guys, okay, make sure you're good hand placement, gap responsibility, play to the echo of the whistle, basically reinforcing no matter what the score is. Keep playing until the echo of the whistle.
5:28 to go in this fourth quarter. Ball at the 39 of Lockport, 2nd and 14 after the penalty. That's now 13 penalties for 125 yards on Bennett today. Here's Jordan Freeman with plenty of space. Splits 2 defenders, finally thrown to the turf by Tristan Grimble, who remains on the field at middle linebacker.
This shows you why Bennett is so good, because even when they're putting in their young kids have this much talent. This is showing you that they don't have, they've got great people up in front, but they also are showing they have depth where they need it in the skilled position.
Especially out wide. I know Freeman's at quarterback now, but you look at the roster and the starters out wide and the key players. Jameer Thomas is a senior. DJ Elston is a senior. Aaron Roseboro is a senior. And then at running back, Kamari Cook is a senior. Austin Ahern, we haven't seen, as a senior. A lot of seniors on the skill positions for Bennett. Jordan Freeman's a guy who, next year as a senior, can step up and fill in some of those roles at running back and receiver left by graduating seniors, as another flag is flown on Bennett's offensive attack as they march towards the end zone and take a couple steps back.
Well, you gotta sometimes figure out who you are. If you're a punch you in the face, aggressive until the last whistle, if you're dominant, you're going to take those penalties because it's part of your persona. But you look at what Coach Smith is doing here. A very disciplined young football team. That's going to transition into top performers in their juniors and senior year. You're looking at a very successful future football team
on the
here.
Play, both on the offense. 62 holding. Number 4 holding. We're going to enforce from the penalty on 62.
Boy, Corey Brockman, get yourself a glass of water, pal. There's the run Jameer Thomas.
Yeah, there's a little hold, but, again, but look at his hands came off there at the end. Hands are on the back. What you got to be impressed with is that everybody's still running downfield. This is why.
Unfortunately, on the bench, Bennett bench.
Steve McDuffie just took a penalty, and fans of Lockport like that. And you almost need one of those get-back guys like Coach McVay has out in L.A.
Hey, one of the things that you can't be, offended by is the passion with which Coach McDuffie coaches his kids. Sometimes it could be detrimental to you, but he's consistent with the way he approaches the game.
Boy, if Anthony Scott didn't get out there and bring the arm bar with him, McDuffie would have maybe been at the press box by now.
Well, we got some good pizza up here and everything.
Shout out to Semino's.
Yes. Maybe they give me some money for saying Semino's.
Coach McDuffie not happy on the sideline. He's up 28-6. Coach McDuffie and Bennett have had quite the story getting to Class AA and a state championship. You can talk about that all you want, but you can't forget they lost in a sectional championship in Class A, they lost in a sectional championship in Class B, and then they lost in Class C, all at Highmark Stadium, before moving up to AA and finding a home at the top level in Western New York. But what he learned was all these things and losing and losing and losing. Once you get to those big-time games, you're just as good of a coach as the guy across the field from you. And it was those kind of moments where you're taking these penalties that do hurt you in the long run, and they did in those big games. That's what he learned from last year to win a state championship.
But then again, there's also, when I was standing and talking to him on the sideline about setting the pass up or the run to open up the pass, and he says, look, no, I'm a run. This is who I am. There's no apology for the way he coaches. He believes that if he's more consistent, and he's right, he won a state championship being the way that he is. I was not a well-liked guy on the sideline by the referees. I held everybody accountable. If they didn't do it the right way, you at least got to have those conversations. And that's all he's doing. And his kids are showing he's coaching to the end. Mm-hmm. He could have taken his headset off already. You got to coach Scott. He's not doing that. He's coaching. And we got to be able to see that. He's got some passion for it. It may not always be the most positive thing, but it's consistent.
Can't apologize for passion.
Nope.
Throw down the field. Thomas tips it, and it's intercepted. Shea Williams comes down with it. Something to cheer about for the Lockport faithful with 3:03 to go in the fourth quarter.
Well, again, this is a testament to this. This could be a ridiculous score right now, but Lockport has not stopped fighting. Look at the way they're going up for the football, and they're down 28-6. This is just effort. They don't stop pass rushing. Everybody's pursuing. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. Everybody's going for the highest point on the football. Come on, that's just great awareness and great play. They could have given up by now, but they didn't. And that's a testament to their coach.
And that is why Shea Williams is a captain on this team. Some umbrellas popped out in Lockport as perhaps some raindrops start to fall. The cheerleaders are unfazed. Check this out.
Throw the flag there. Yep, that's a good one right there. This is something what you just saw there is what they're going to have to do down the line. Throw the ball up a little bit more and let their top players adjust on the football. But this young man, he's got a solid arm. He's just got to get his eyes in the game. That's the next step of his progression. He's a good athlete. He's got poise in the pocket, but he's got to be able to check down when he's in the concept.
While it does technically get quote unquote easier for Lockport for the rest of the season, it's still Class A and it's still Section 6 football. They're at Kenmore West next week. They're home against Clarence before back-to-back road games at McKinley and at West Seneca West. round out their schedule at Grand Island with home games against Niagara Wheatfield and Will North to end the year.
Well, I think with the consistency of their play, though, if they can stay healthy.
15 yards from the previous spot. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike on the head coach. His second unsportsmanlike, he's ejected.
Whoa. Now, that's an unfortunate thing because really, you know, you've seen a football team that, you know, may have had 12, 13 penalties today, but they played well. You get a, you know, they're competitive. You get a little pushing, a little shoving, a little jaw jacking, but that's football.
There's Coach McDuffie, headset off. He is irate. But it's that passion that fuels his team to victory. Coach McDuffie doesn't feel so great about how things went last season, despite winning a state championship. His team was undefeated, heading into just a couple of losses to non-conference opponents from out-of-state opponents. His team was undefeated in Western New York, and then due to a clinical error, and really it was an eligibility issue where a player had come from another team's middle school, had played at the JV level the year before. They didn't know about it. Weeks into the season, it's brought to the attention of Section 6. Bennett was forfeited all of their first 7 games of the year, giving them a 2-7 record going into the postseason. They're the best 7-loss team in the history of New York State because they went on to win a state championship. But that should have been an 11-2 record if you really look at the final scores of the games as they were played. But Coach McDuffie was clear to me in my interview, and he said numerous times he doesn't feel the greatest about how he was treated and how his team was treated last season, and perhaps some of that frustration still boiling over into the start of this year.
Well, I think that the biggest thing you got to be as a head football coach is that you're accountable, okay? It starts with you, it ends with you. It's a shame that he coached a great game, and now he's walking off into the locker room without his players. He's got other coaches that have to step up. They'll finish the game out, and you got 3 minutes with a nice first win.
Grant Schultz over the middle, incomplete. Aaron Roseborough was about a foot away from it, was close to getting up to it. Instead, it falls softly to the turf with 2:50 to go in the fourth.
They are really, you know, this team, this young man, he's walking off the sideline, looking back down on his wristband. There's no quit in what they're doing. They're just trying to get better. Their coaches are coaching. They're not upset about the loss right now. Of course, they'd like the score to be on the other side of it, but they're getting better, and they're taking advantage of these big penalties. So I love watching them grow. Let's see what they got here. Trips to the right. They're obviously going to be throwing the football here. Give this young man a little draw.
Well, with Coach McDuffie tossed from the game, and the score being a 22-point lead for his club, we got to figure out who we're going to talk to after the game. A couple of assistant coaches. We mentioned the long coaching staff on the sideline. Perhaps Anthony Scott will be our man, a UB man, as yourself are. I know our replays of a couple of quarters this game were brought to you by the UB Bulls, and our halftime show was presented by the UB Bulls. You should see the ring on the right ring finger of Scott Pilkey tonight. A former UB Bull himself, really flashing off all the jewelry. We'll get to that after this play here. 3rd and 4 for Lockport. A pitch to Shea Williams. He's got a lane. Shea Williams to the 20. Picks up the first down. Take a look at this ring, Scott. If you want to flash that up after the express windows first down, check that ring out. Are you kidding me? Horns up. UB Bulls, proud to represent on Thursday Night Lights.
2008 MAC champs, baby.
Not many MAC championship rings sitting around in Western New York, but boy, do the Bulls have a team this year. And I believe their season starts today at Wisconsin.
It does. 28-point underdogs, but I don't think it'll be that. I don't think it'll end up like that.
Cole Snyder's a dog.
Yeah, Coach Lindquist has got those guys going. I worked with Mo back in 2012, 2013 when he was a DB's coach at UB. Great man.
Under 90 seconds to go in regulation. Graham Schultz looking, end zone. Incomplete. It went off the body of our player of the game, Noah McDuffie, but falls to the ground. A minute 21 remaining. 2nd and 10. How big would a touchdown be here for Lockport? They started the game with a defensive score. we're still waiting for that first offensive score.
Well, I think the fact that they've been able to put some drives together shows you that they've already grown as an offense. They're starting to see their success with the running game, little quick hitters inside against an aggressive, over-penetrating team. They've got that figured out. They've got the little out route. Now they're just trying to get the seam routes done. I mean, you can really tell what they're working on, and that's concepts right now.
Second down, 10 to go at the 21. Graham Schultz trips to the left. He's got a man open if he wants him. He instead goes to the end zone. It's tipped over the intended target, Trey Thompson, and the wide receiver all the way out to the left end, that being Devontae Petricone, is quite upset with his quarterback, more so just in disbelief that he didn't get the pass at the 15-yard line as his arms dropped to his side, and he couldn't believe he wasn't throwing the football.
I got it. So you want me to head down there, right?
Sometimes you get that. (28-6), a minute 16 to go in the fourth quarter. Quite a schedule upcoming for Thursday Night Lights later on in this season, as another falls incomplete. That'll bring up third down. We're at Cheektowaga Central next Thursday for a 7 p.m. matchup between another former UB quarterbacks team in Joe Licata, the head coach at Williamsville South. They head to Cheektowaga Central for Thursday, and a 7 p.m. matchup right here on Thursday Night Lights on My TV Buffalo. After that, Will North at Tonawanda, Albion at Maryville, among others. For the full schedule, check out my Twitter page, my X page, if you will, at Jack Cruiser. Full schedule posted there. Williamsville South at Cheektowaga should be a good matchup. South won their first game of the year this weekend. Cheektowaga fell just a few points shy in a back-and-forth shootout against West Seneca East at Cheektowaga Central this past week. It was a great week of football to start the week 1 schedule. Started out with a 58-46 win for Health Sciences at Star Point. That was Thursday night. That was the first game of the season. Over 100 points scored, and some Connolly Cup contenders introduced to Western New York. Last night, there was plenty of football action. I was at Sweet Home in Williamsville East. It was a fantastic game. Will East back and forth, never led until a minute left in the fourth quarter. After they kicked the extra point to go up by 1 with a minute left, Sweet Home took the ensuing kickoff to the house. They secured the victory 21-16. Good to hear these Lockport fans and students getting into it this late in the ball game. 4th down and 10 from the 21. Graham Schultz, a final shot to get on the scoreboard for the offense. Schultz steps up on the run, throws to the end zone, tipped, incomplete. He looked for Shea Williams, and then it just fell behind the arms of Trey Thompson, who fell in the back of the end zone. But a flag on the play. A lot of penalties so far on this game.
The penalties declined. First down, Bennett.
Bennett declines the penalty. Not sure who is running the show for Bennett. I assume it is the man waving his arms on the far side. That being Patrick Foster, who may have taken over the head coaching duties, at least for the moment, with Coach McDuffie having been tossed after 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties in this game. It's a beautiful day in Western New York. Great for the first game of the high school football season. Nothing like it. Nothing like it anywhere else in the world, except only here in this country do you all get together, and it's our town versus your town. Lockport versus a group of high schools in the city of Buffalo. Tonight it is the city of Buffalo who comes out on top, defeating Lockport in this one, at least right now by 22. We'll see if that score holds with 64 seconds remaining. Scott Bilkey has exited the booth. He's down on the sideline waiting to interview someone from that sideline. I don't think it'll be the man in the wife beater. Could be. You never know who's taking over for Coach McDuffie. We're not aware. But we'll surely figure out. He may not be interviewing anyone. We may just send Scott Bilkey down there with the Lombardi trophy that was made for each Thursday Night Lights winner. That'll be featured proudly in the halls of Bennett High School. just below the state championship plaque, I'm sure, from a season ago. It was an awesome game from start to finish. Patrick Luke had the defensive touchdown on a fumble recovery for Lockport that set them up 6-0 in the first quarter. Bennett went down. Jameer Thomas, Noah McDuffie, Ryan Lawrence, all looking impressive throughout the day. Sherrod Bernard in his debut with the Bennett Tigers looked impressive. Going from St. Mary's to Bennett, he's looking to have found a home with the Tigers and bring them back to the promised land in Syracuse. On the flip side for Lockport, as the final 15 seconds tick away, it's a good test to start the season. They held with the Tigers, who are in Double-A for a majority of the first half. Just fell short and didn't have the speed to keep up with the weapons of the Bennett Tigers. 2-1 final, 28-6. The Bennett Tigers defeat the Lockport Lions on the debut of Thursday Night Lights, presented by William Mattar and Vinyl Outlet of Western New York. For week 1 of the 2023 season on MyTV Buffalo, Trey Smith leads his squad into the handshake line. The other head coach already having been tossed, Trey Smith leads the Tigers through the handshake line as well. We'll take a break and come back with the trophy presentation and wrap things up from Lockport, New York after this.
At Interstate Battery, we can power anything, big or small. Golf carts, campers, and RVs, and all of your vehicles. Stop in and see us at our Hamburg and Kenmore locations. Interstate Battery, outrageously dependable.
Some migraine attacks catch you off guard, but for me, a stressful day can trigger migraine attacks too. That's why my go-to is Nurtec ODT. It's the only migraine medication that can treat and prevent my attacks all in one.
Don't take if allergic to Nurtec. Allergic reactions can occur even days after using. Most common side effects were nausea, indigestion, and stomach pain.
Now I'm in control. With Nurtec ODT, I can treat a migraine attack and prevent one.
Talk to your doctor about Nurtec today.
The National Desk delivers America's news now.
Impactful news now from nearly 4,000 local journalists across America.
The Live Desk tracks the next weather maker across America now.
The National Desk keeps you up to date on breaking news now.
To manage that fire as it continues to spread. Watch the National Desk, America's news now.
The National Desk, every night at 10 on Fox 29.
At Interstate Battery, we can power anything, big or small. From hearing aids to cell phones, or something with a bit more horsepower. Stop in and see us at our Hamburg and Kenmore locations. Interstate Battery, outrageously dependable.
Have you ever watched me?
Yes. Evidence.
Well, you knew I was going to say something about the fact that you didn't bring any paperwork.
Proof.
You're going to have to prove all the things you're saying, both of you.
Respect.
Would you both like to settle the case that way? Plaintiff, defendant.
The People's Court.
Wonderful.
Weekdays on MyTV Buffalo.
Post-game show begins here from Lockport High School. 28-6, the final. Bennett walks away with the victory. They huddle around their coach, who was tossed out. He's now back on the field, Steve McDuffie, to give the post-game speech to the Bennett Tigers. He was heated at one point, has since cooled down, and for good reason. His team is 1-0, and we welcome you back to the press box here for Thursday Night Lights. How about that sign thrown up by our wonderful crew from WNYO and MyTV Buffalo? We're with you all year, every Thursday, this being a Saturday, and we'll actually bookend the season with ending on a Saturday for St. Francis and Canisius, a big game in the Monsignor Martin Association. That the last week of the high school season, and a 7 p.m. matchup nonetheless. But from here on out, it's Thursdays, including next week, Will South at Cheektowaga. Joe Licata, in his second year as head coach with Williamsville South, he's got his quarterback, Caden Overcamp, firing on all cylinders. They won in a walloping fashion this weekend to open their 2023 schedule. On the flip side, Cheektowaga Central has a new head coach. I'm pumped to see what they look like in week 2 under a new system. Let's head down now on the field with Scott Pilkey, who's standing by with the trophy presentation.
This is the William Mattar Trophy presentation by Niagara Awards, presented to today's winner for Thursday Night Lights. the Bennett Tigers. Coach McDuffie and the game. Here you guys go. Take it, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Good work, boys.
Good coach.
Tossing it back up. Thank you. Great game by the Bennett Tigers.
Championship plaque, but it'll do. It'll do just as well to start off the season. Funny that the last trophy that Bennett was received was their last game played, and it was the state championship trophy. So they'll take that mini Lombardi and hang it proudly in their studio. We were having fun from the moment we got here, as were the cheerleaders and the teams from both sides. It was a great time. Jameer Thomas ends up with 4 rushes for 36 yards and a touchdown, had 60 yards through the air for Bennett. Ryan Lawrence had over 90 yards total offensively, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Ryan Lawrence, what a debut. The transfer from St. Francis was fantastic. And Noah McDuffie, our player of the game tonight for the Bennett Tigers, had 11 rushes, 50 yards, a pick, a touchdown for our entire crew. For William Matar in the Vinyl Outlet Aesthetic Associates Center and the University at Buffalo, we'll see you next week.
Fall is in the air at Tim Hortons. The rich aroma of a maple cinnamon sugar latte, the sweet taste of a pumpkin spice iced cap, and the fall flavor notes of new Tim Hortons refreshers. Tim's fall menu has all your fall favorites and refreshing new ones, now at Tim Hortons.
At Express Windows, you can get high-quality vinyl double-hung windows starting at only $329. And for a limited time, buy 3, get 1 free on energy-efficient triple-pane windows. Express Windows. Fast, easy, affordable.
As the weather heats up, make sure your home stays cool. Get your AC tuned up and ready to go for $69. Don't have AC? No problem. We offer 72 months with no interest on AC installation. Plus, you can get up to $1,250 in available rebates. We also can take care of any of your home's plumbing needs, for jobs big or small. Let us take care of your home while you enjoy the weather. Call us for a free in-home estimate.
Serving all of Western New York for more than 2 decades.
Hi, I'm Jim Trimper, and we have a problem.
Denton, Katir, and Daniels closed their Rochester store and brought all that inventory here to Buffalo. The store is bursting at the seams with new and used pianos. If you ever wanted a piano, now is the time, with savings up to 50%. Appointments recommended. Call 716-609-1366 and visit us at 460 Dodge Road in Gettsville.
If you ever moved, you know what it's like. Think of what it took to move all these pianos.
At Express Windows, you can get high-quality vinyl double-hung windows starting at only $329. And for a limited time, buy 3, get 1 free on energy-efficient triple-pane windows. Express Windows. Fast, easy, affordable.
Fall is in the air at Tim Hortons. The rich aroma of a maple cinnamon sugar latte, the sweet taste of a pumpkin spice iced cap, and the fall flavor notes of new Tim Hortons refreshers. Tim's fall menu has all your fall favorites and refreshing new ones, now at Tim Hortons.
Raymore and Flanagan. Shop our Labor Day weekend super sale with up to 35% savings this weekend only.
The Buffalo Bisons take on the Indians. Live Sunday on My TV Buffalo. We now join our regularly scheduled program already in progress.
This guy's plastered. Let's get him into a cab. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know what I mean?
We molded this next prank into a comedy work of art. We'll be right back with more gags right after this.
You should have gotten a colon cancer screening, but stuff came up. But did you know that colorectal cancer is the second deadliest cancer? So if you are 45 and older, it's time to take care of your screening. To learn more or find patient support, visit the Colorectal Cancer Alliance at ccalliance.org or call 877-422-2030. Don't let butt stuff get in the way of your screening.
Live, get ready to rock. Playing in your town, it's the biggest show ever. One place with lightning, another place with boom.
Play something we can dance to.
The Big Bang Theory.
Weeknights on My TV Buffalo.
Promotional consideration provided by...
You've trusted Blue Emu for over 20 years. Now, the original formula is for your pet. Blue Emu Vet helps support the joints and muscles of cats, dogs, and horses. Blue Emu Vet. If it works for you, it'll work for them.
Grandpa is in the doghouse with Grandma. Even harder to believe is that an old person can actually work a smartphone. Well, that's our show. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
MyTV Buffalo, your station to catch live Buffalo Bison's games from Salem Field. The Bisons take on the Indians live Sunday on MyTV Buffalo.
Best results, happy clients. Just call Jed at 839-3939. Jed is a U.S. News best lawyer.
Call 839-3939. Just call Jed.
I was speaking to a patient. They were going through their kind of cancer journey with me. They told me how scared they were with their diagnosis, and they went through all this investigation of where was the best place for them to go. And when they did their research, Roswell Park was in their backyard. For patients, we're offering them access to therapies today that other people may not be able to get for years down the road. And that's why you should spend just one day at Roswell Park.
Hi, I'm Jim Trimper, and we have a problem.
Denton, Katir, and Daniels closed their Rochester store and brought all that inventory here to Buffalo. The store is bursting at the seams with new and used pianos. If you ever wanted a piano, now is the time, with savings up to 50%. Appointments recommended. Call 716-609-1366 and visit us at 460 Dodge Road in Gettsville.
If you ever moved, you know what it's like. Think of what it took to move all these pianos.
Here's why you should switch from Google to DuckDuckGo on all your devices. DuckDuckGo comes with a built-in search engine like Google, but it's private and doesn't spy on your searches. And DuckDuckGo lets you browse like Chrome, but it blocks cookies and creepy ads that follow you around from Google and other companies. And there's no catch. It's free. We make money from ads, but they don't follow you around. Join the millions of people taking back their privacy by downloading DuckDuckGo on all your devices today.
Best results, happy clients. That is Jed's mission. Just call Jed now at 839-3939.
Call 839-3939. Just